Welcome everybody to another day of VCS action. We're in week 5, day 2, FTV against Flash. It's our first series today. I'm Yulwei, as always, and with me also as always, every day. How are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm looking forward to another night of VCS action, hoping it'll be a good night. But this first series might not be as interesting as we hope.
I mean, we say that, but FTV series tend to be pretty exciting and at least fun to watch, no?
I mean, yeah, to an extent. Even though, as we were saying just before we went live, Rika makes me want to stop watching League of Legends
Oh,
sometimes.
I think it's the
Uh,
FTV coaches actually.
oh yeah, okay, fair enough. To be fair to Rika, it's not necessarily his fault. It's the coaches because, my God, he just needs to play Poppy.
Yeah, he's so
That's
good
all
on the
he
Poppy.
He's
And
so
it's
good.
I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate even for him that Poppy gets buffed because she will probably get more attention and hit the ban list more often next patch. So, I mean, we've already seen.
I mean,
Oh wow,
VCS
this is
actually
surprising.
adapting first week of the patch.
This is
Maybe
very
not.
surprising. FTV fielding
Yeah.
their old roster with their secondary jungler. So Meocon in. We saw a lot of Meocon in the last few weeks, but we didn't see victory actually, because their jungler Kuriko, their main jungler, was playing. Yeah, we could say mid lane, but he played all over the place. He swapped lanes with Rika. He went down to the bot lane, so he played whatever he wanted, and he had insane games. So I'm super surprised he's not playing today. Police in as well. We saw 2 games last week. Tiger played a lot of the games, so now Police and Victory back in. That changes a little bit. More of the standard approach from FTV.
Yeah, I think I kind of like them playing that first roster, but with the Mulcon change. I think Mulcon's looked really good
Yeah,
for them.
especially on the J4, I think he has impressed
Yeah,
us a lot. Very good
exactly.
engages.
But here we go into Champ Select, and there are rumors of certain champions being disabled. We don't know for sure though, because VCS is playing a patch behind to most of the world, but we'll have to see. But Nidalee immediately taken out. Team Flash just doesn't want to deal with that hard farming jungler from Yukon.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting priority there.
Meocon's name starts with Meo, so banning out the cat is probably a good call. The
I mean,
second cat
both
is
cats
also
are
banned.
out. Yeah, exactly. He has to play Katarina with the cat skin now.
I
It's the
hope he
only
does
option.
not.
Jungle Katarina, let's go.
Dying to every single jungle camp on the map, let's go.
Hey, you don't give away gold. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's better than what's really going to happen. It's just going to die to Flash over and over.
Wow. Gosh.
That's not flame against Mjolcon. As I said, I think he's looked really good for FTV, but as you can see from the scores at the top, this is a little bit of a mismatch.
Yeah. We have one of the top teams in Flash playing against, I would say, the 7th best team. They are better than Cerberus, even though they lost to Cerberus. I think FTV is definitely better than Cerberus.
Yep, and in true VCS fashion, we have a Kaiser ban, and instead of banning Lux, that's a bit of a tilter, but whatever. We know how much Slater loves Kaiser, so the target ban kind of
Oh
makes
no.
sense.
Oh, it's happening again. Rika Rice, let's go.
Oh, it could go mid. It can still go mid.
Kuroko has looked
I
super
like
good on the
this J4.
rise, but
Yeah,
sorry, but he's
yep.
not in, so no rise for Kuroko. He had the quarter kill and the double-digit kills on the top lane
Yeah.
rise.
That he did. And I really like this J4 lock in early on.
Yep.
As you said, Elcon's really impressed on the pick, so just lock it up for him. I think that's a very good decision.
Yep,
And I
now his
do
fourth
hope we see
J4 game
J
already.
Oh, he can't play him anymore after this one. Otherwise, he'll be J5. Doesn't make sense. Oh, come on.
I'll not comment on this particular very, very good pun. Whatever.
I'm more, I'm more, I'm more upset at the Rise pick. If that goes top lane, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, it can still be Victory's Rise. Have we seen
Yeah.
Victory on Rise? I've actually not prepared for victory because I didn't think he would play today, so I'm sorry for that. Can check my stats a little bit later on. Has he played the Rise this season? My
I
immediate
don't
reaction would be
remember him.
no.
I don't think so, no. But I do hope he plays it today because we've seen Rika on it and it's not very impressive.
Oh, in fact, he has played one game of Rise and they
Oh,
lost.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
The
well,
loss
I mean,
rate,
they lost most.
yeah,
So.
yeah, that's not really fair to judge the performance from their win rate because it's FTV and they don't really win a whole lot. 5 and 14 right now in terms of game score. Interestingly enough, Flash sits at 14 and 8, so exactly as many games won as FTV has lost. Absolutely useless statistic for you there.
No, but what about their Ocean Drake takes? Not their
Oh
Drake
yeah,
takes,
that's the
just their
most important
Ocean
stat.
Drake. I'm
Yeah,
glad the
that's
VCS keeps updated on that one. But looking back into the draft, Silas being picked up here for Yijin, he's pretty good on that one. Interesting that he didn't go for the Gragas, which has been sort of his
yeah.
standard when it's open. But Silas is just very tier list good here on 913, so I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, and they fill kind of the same slot. They are both AP junglers with a lot of brawling potential, especially around level 6. Greg is a little bit stronger of a ganker, especially in the early game. He can look for level 3, level 4 ganks a little bit more easily, but they still kind of slot into the same kind of role in the game. Especially if you want to go for a strong mid or top lane 2v2, then Silas and Gragas are kind of interchangeable. So I like to see these AP junglers come in for Yijin, set up for a strong solo lane assistance.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the bans coming in, 2 control mages being removed, one from either side. Not too surprised. Both Optimus and Victory do like playing that style, as well as Renekton and Thresh being removed. Thresh just this random ban that every now and then comes in the BCS as if he's a real threat. But whatever. Morgana is the pick though.
Morgana into Lux Zaya. That's a little bit of a struggle for the Morgana. It's not an easy
I
lane to play.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily go support, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's victory on the Morgana, but that would mean Rika Rise, which we still don't really
We don't
want to see, so we still hope it's Victory Rise to see last pick Rika. Maybe, yeah, Poppy, by the way, is super good right now into Camille.
Yeah, into Camille especially. That's a hard counter pick. This is a great time to pick Poppy, but knowing
Oh, I really
the
don't
FTV
agree
coaching staff,
with LB here. Corky is
yeah,
open.
LB,
Oh!
it
There we
happened.
go. There
The
we
coach, the
go.
coach is here today. Oh my word! Finally.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah, maybe the coach isn't here. That's actually
Maybe it's
somewhat
Rika
more like.
this time.
Yeah.
Acknowledging his best pick is Poppy. I'm sorry. That
Hey, they
was
look similar. They're both Yordle.
yeah, Corky, by the way, not picked for Flash, which is really surprising because Azir is banned, and usually if you ban Azir, Corky is very free, and Corky into Rise is a very good matchup for the Corky, so I really don't understand where the LB came from. Optimus has only played one game of LB, and cast your mind back to that game. It was a particular build with a particular summoner spell setup.
If he goes that again and wins, so that we have 2 games of Hex Flash Super Soaker LB winning in the VCS, that is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's Optimus. Optimus is a little bit of a weird one. He has played forever, so it seems like he has a lot of control over his team. We've seen him talk to Slater after losses a lot, and then Slater is subbed out after they had a 2-3 minute talk. It's a little bit questionable. I think Optimus has a lot of control in this team, and maybe he just said, "Okay, I want to play my Super Soaker LeBlanc." Everyone looks at him, goes like, "Really? Do we have to do this again?"
I mean, I think what's more likely is he said, yeah, just pick me LeBlanc. And all of his team said, yeah, okay, a dive assassin, that's pretty good. And then they looked at his build 12 minutes in and went, hang on a minute.
Probably,
What are you doing?
probably more.
What are you doing?
Oh man, Optimus, what's going on
I
over
mean,
there?
we don't know if he'll go that this game. He may well go a more standard LeBlanc, but regardless of the LeBlanc build, I do agree with you. I think Corky was pretty free.
Yeah, I think the
And I think
new
it's
Rise
really
actually
good.
struggles a lot more into LeBlanc. So just looking at the
That's a good
1v1
shield.
matchup in lane, it's now a better matchup for LeBlanc. Previously, before the shield remove came in, I think Rise actually won this lane. Better
Yep, I
trades on
agree.
his side. But especially in the early game, LeBlanc should win this one pretty easily now. And look at his setup, it's electrocute, so no Super Suka LeBlanc today.
Well, I don't think he even went glacial
Yeah,
augment
you're
when
right.
he did it.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure he just built the super soaker without the glacial augment, which was even stranger.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean,
It was a strange one.
he is not the main carry of the team. It sounds a little weird to talk about Optimus as not the main carry, because especially on the main broadcast, he's sitting on 500 MVP points, which I really can't understand. I don't know where those are coming from. But he has played a
Yeah.
lot of facilitated champs. He has played Zillion, Syndra 5 games. That's just a stat check mid lane domination champ that gives his jungler a lot of freedom to roam around the map. I think the most important member for Flash actually has been Yijin, and the hard carry has been Slater. Optimus
Yep.
is more of the stable mid laner that just goes
Yeah,
even and maybe roams a little bit.
yeah, exactly. He's just a stable platform for the team to jump off. Yijin does a lot of setup play, does so much work, especially on the Gragas pick that we've seen so many times. He looks really, really good and enables Slater to be really the big boy that gets them over the line. So this is why I'm a little bit surprised again at this LeBlanc pick. It doesn't really suit Optimus's playstyle. I think Corky would have absolutely suited it, but
And
we're gonna have to see how he goes.
really doesn't fit the composition, in my opinion. If you look at the composition, imagine a Corki that's great late game scaling on the side of Slade, a Flash, I should say. Especially looking at the still very strong level 16 from the Salas this patch. Obviously gets hard nerfed next patch with the cooldown being something like 6 times as high as it is right now. It's a
It's
ridiculous
a
nerf.
minute. It's a minute to six matches.
There's never been a nerf like this to a cooldown in League of Legends. But it's still not live here, so I, I
Yeah, a
guess
little bit
the
strange.
LeBlanc is a little bit of a bridging pick to try to reach the late game and then rely on Slater and Stark to carry the team.
I don't think that's a good strat though. Like I think they needed an actual late game pick to go up against the Rise and the Poppy, who's just going to be a massive tank.
Yeah.
I don't like
And
that
we
pick. I
have
feel like
we are still trying to reevaluate what Rise after this mini rework looks like in the late game. And so far, it seems like he is insane in the late game, even stronger than he was before, because his team fighting is easier to execute. It's not as reliant on range. You get to do AoE damage to everyone. It's kind of like Sivir, but on steroids, because his Q does a little bit more damage than Sivir W.
yeah, just a tiny bit more.
Just the
Yeah,
thousands
Rise.
crits on the squishies in the late game, every
Yeah,
second or so.
totally normal. Yeah, totally normal. Yijin setting up for a gank here, looking for that man victory. Has to burn his flash, but does get out of dodge. So he's alive, but flash burn, gank successful. Yijin will be back.
Yeah, and this should be a very easy return gang setup now for Flash's side. They didn't burn anything. Eden still has his Flash ab abscond? Abduct, right? The second part is abduct.
Abduct.
Yeah.
Yeah, abduct. No, it's abduct, abscond.
Oh, okay. Abscond then. The Flash
Yeah.
abscond, as well as the chain from Optimus. He can flash with the
Yeah, that
chain
might be
as well.
fine.
Should be easy to execute.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know Silas. Yeah, it's abduct, abscond, and his ult is hijack. That's how it is. Uh, very similar words. They mean almost the same thing. CBL does get caught in the binding there, but Aftershock Lux is pretty safe, and now it's Police that's in a lot of trouble. He goes down to about 50 health there. Slater doing really well trading back.
Yeah, that
But
was a
Ignite for heal is traded.
interesting trade. They kind of underestimated the lethal tempo on Slater's side. Burst trades are obviously very good for the Lucian because he is going PTA, so he wants to get in PTA, maybe one more hit after the PTA to get a little bit more of the percentage increase on the damage, and then go out as fast as he can because there's lethal tempo coming in for Slater.
Absolutely. Definitely don't want to be sticking around with the lethal tempo. Zaya with her W as well is pretty ridiculous if she can make use of that rune, as you said. So hopefully we do see them adjusting their trading patterns down there in that bot lane to correctly play around their power spike. The other thing I hope we see is the full crit Lucian build. I think that would be a massive boon for his team if he does go that. I think they look really good in the late game, especially with that Lucian build.
I actually think he doesn't have to go crit in this build, interestingly enough. This is one of the games where I think mid-game Lucian build would be perfectly fine because Ryze can take over in terms of teamfight damage. You don't really need damage from Lucian in the late game. Ryze has enough damage to pretty much carry the teamfight alone. So more utility from the Lucian would have been nice as well, but I agree, the crit Lucian is still very good, and it can be strong in the mid game as well, especially if he goes straight into the two big crit items.
Ooh, Milcon gets caught by the light binding, gets ignited as well. That was a little bit spicy there out of CBL. And now in the top lane, we see that this is why you pick Poppy into Camille. It's really not a lot Camille can do at this point once she's got her Barmies.
But Rika has struggled a little bit in the early laning phase, and you can see in the CS department he's about one wave behind.
Yeah, you really need the Barmy Cinder. So that all came from before that item came in, I would imagine.
Yeah, and it's not.
Rika should be equalizing soon enough.
It's very deceptive to talk about Poppy as a counter pick, because yeah, she is a counter pick into Camille and into things like Riven, but it's not like she straight up completely destroys them in lane. It's not like the traditional Riven into Vladimir matchup where Vladimir can't even enter lane or something like.
Yeah, like Mordekaiser versus Vayne.
Yeah, something like that. It's more like Poppy wins certain traits and she can dominate the lane if she plays it well, but there's definitely counterplay. It's not a super hard counter. Camille can outtrade if she,
Yeah,
if
and
especially if Poppy messes up. Camille has an easy time to outtrade her.
And I mean, the big thing is that it's unlikely that the Poppy is ever going to really threaten huge solo kills unless there's a pretty major mistake out of Stark. But what she can do is basically say, you don't get to be that side lane threat this game. Which is really big.
That, do you remember what Rika's build is on Poppy?
Okay, but I'm talking about good Poppy builds. Yeah, that wasn't good. I didn't like to see that at all.
He likes to get rid of his second item, by the way, so...
Don't do that, please.
I mean, most of the time he's very fat, so you can kind of forgive him going for the carry item on Poppy, but especially in this game, as it's a very even state on top lane, he should probably go back to full tank itemization.
It's also just better for the team comp.
Yeah.
Like, I think we should see.
You don't need damage from your Poppy. You really don't.
Exactly.
It's absolutely useless.
Yeah, Jarvan and Poppy should both be going full tank this game because they just don't need to do damage.
Look at the
You have a Ryze and a Lucian. Yeah. Poppy just working away.
By the way, something a lot of people underestimate as well. Tanks with the Demolish rune can absolutely get a few turret platings if you leave lane a little bit preemptively. Yeah. I play a lot of top lane Mundo, and he's a little bit better at pushing than Poppy, but yeah, I had so many times where the top laner was annoyed because we were just farming and he was playing a carry, so he couldn't do anything. He went off to roam, wanted to roam mid, and his turret was down to 2 platings afterwards because I just used my...
sit there.
Yeah, I just sit there, use my auto to get reset. Okay, Poppy doesn't have that, but she still has Demolish. 2 platings over to the Poppy, no plating over to the Camille. So this matchup already looking very good for Rika.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to see Rika having a good one. Also worth pointing out, No Conqueror on the Camille, which is good to see, but he is now locked in the Rage Cage. Lucian ult not
What?
doing any damage whatsoever there. That was atrocious from Police, but why did Optimus go in, made the mistake not matter, and Police will pick up first blood as Stark tries to juke away, should have hookshot any moment, and should be able to get away nice and safely.
Wow.
And he does, but what was Optimus doing?
I did not pay attention to Optimus, I have to say. I saw the incredible hookshot deny from Meocon and
Oh, I
was
didn't catch that.
yeah, that was super cool. Sadly, it didn't really pay off for him, but he flashed at exactly the right moment on top of Stark, and Stark was not able to do anything with his hook shot.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, well, hopefully we get a replay so we can see that. I was more paying attention to Police, who popped a Lucian ult that did absolutely nothing. He
Yeah.
should have just auto attacked, and they probably would have killed Stark if he literally just right clicked on him. But oh well. The Rift Herald has been summoned up, and this should be the top lane tower going down pretty much for free.
Yeah, and Poppy teleported down to the bot lane. It's actually pretty hard for CBL and Slater to do anything against him, especially if he dodges the light binding like he did there. They don't really deal a whole lot of damage to him. He is the early armor boots, a lot of additional armor as well. We are at 10 minutes, so if he went for conditioning, he has 16, 17 more armor even. So this is a tanky Poppy.
Absolutely. So it is first turret secured for FTV, as well as a charge on that second. And they're 1.5k gold ahead. This is a good start for them.
Absolutely. And their scaling is very good, as we alluded to early on the cast. I'm not sure if I favor this scaling. Let's talk.
I do, with a rise.
Yeah, I think their scaling for 5v5 team comps definitely is superior. If they,
and I think Poppy can stonewall the side lane.
yeah, it's a little bit of the LeBlanc might be a little bit of of a problem later on. I'm not sure if Rice can stop her in the side lane. Right now, probably still able to do so. On 2 items, Rice might struggle a little bit. But I don't really think Flash is a good enough team to play 1-3-1 really efficiently.
We don't see very many VCS teams able to pull that team come off super successfully.
Yeah, we saw
as Rika just
4-1s.
casually win trade. Yeah, 4-1 they can definitely do, but
yeah, but 1-3-1 is very hard.
Yijin just using the stolen Poppy ult just to annoy Rika more than anything.
Yeah, he didn't even buy any minions, but
no, it did nothing, but it looked funny. Poppy ult's got to be one of the most fun ults in the game.
Yeah, and can be super impactful as well. You can.
Oh yeah.
I really like Poppy. I mean, I absolutely love to play Poppy, so I'm a little bit biased there as well. As you can probably tell, I'm a tank and support player, so all the tanks and supports I'm always very keen on seeing, because those champs are very fun to play, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
And yeah, Poppy ult is just, you can shorten the Poppy ult for the immediate CC. You can try to knock an important target away. It's so versatile. I really love to see Poppy ult, especially from good Poppies in competitive.
Yep. I mean, I remember there was an LCS game I watched a while ago. I think it was TSM vs C9, where a Poppy ult basically won them the game because it knocked the mid laner and the ADC out of the game-deciding team fight. And they just killed the 3 people remaining and then cleaned up and then won the game.
I think I remember that. They knocked Sneaky away, right?
Yeah, it was Sneaky. Yeah,
I think so.
It was very impactful, but that's what that ult can do, and it can also just be used as sort of a bit of a brain dead. Just I'm in a 1v1 and I'm going to use it as a knock up, and it's still strong with that. So.
Yep.
Top right, very well designed ult.
Very good in teamfight tactics as well right now. Yordle with Poppy 2, very strong.
God, I hate Yordles. I hate Yordles in TFT so much. I play a lot of gunslingers, so...
Yeah, I play a lot of... I don't know. I int a lot in TFT. I'm not good at TFT.
It's alright, I int a lot on Summoner's Thrift, so we're even.
Okay, we have 15 minutes, and FTV is very comfortably in the lead. They don't have to do a whole lot. That's why we on our talk got a little bit goofy, I would say, because there's not a whole lot
Yep.
happening on the map right now. It's a little bit of a lull state. We have very slow approach from both teams, and this is favoring FTB, as their 5v5 in the late game is much easier to execute, very strong.
Yep.
So,
And they are losing a little bit in the two side lanes, just in terms of CS. But as we've addressed, the thing with it's not just unique to Poppy. It's just generally for tank tops. It's okay if you're a little bit down in CS.
and especially as he
Like
got
that's
two solo platings, he's actually up in
yeah,
gold,
exactly.
I would think.
Yeah, almost certainly. And down in the bot lane, I think some of that is just from different back timings and also the play up top where they lost a little bit of CS. So it's really no big deal. And they
And
have a
even they
CS
got
lead
a
in
little bit of the platings on the top side as well. So even though they are behind in CS, I think they are at least even in gold. That being said, Slater got a huge plating spot as well. Slater might be the only player on Flash ahead in gold right now. We sadly don't get to check the gold totals right now. Maybe with the next check-in we can confirm this.
Well, I mean, we'll be able to see when he recalls. We'll be able to make a pretty fair judgment based on items.
And by the
Once
way,
he...
look at Optimus's build. He this time found the right upgrade.
Oh, wow, he did it. It's not a super soaker. It's a real item.
Yeah,
Well
this
done.
LeBlanc really needs a kill or two, because right now she's strong. She will
She's
not
also...
get much stronger in the game, actually, compared to the enemies. She really needs to get kills right now.
Yeah, there needs to be an acceleration. We need to see Yijin having a bit of an impact on the map and try and get his mid laner a little bit of a snowball. So we might be seeing the opposite here as Myokon is lurking in the bush. I don't think Optimus knows, but he definitely sniffs that
Wow, the
something is
crit!
up. So much damage. Oh my, Optimus is in trouble here.
Are you
Myokon can... Oh
serious?
no, my god!
Are you
No!
see?
Are you
Wow.
kidding me?
Neocon.
Myokon, what are
You
you
have to be
doing?
trolling. Like, seriously.
Oh, that Poppy was so clutch
Wow,
there.
Victory
That was so
completely
well done.
outplayed them. Wow.
Wow, we go from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. Because, oh god, that
Wow,
Myokon play.
Victory just ran
Yeah,
around
that
them.
was
They have to be ashamed of what he just did to them. Because
absolutely. He put
wow,
the dance
that
shoes
was
on. Yeah, him and Rika both did super well there. Rika, I mean, it's not as flashy what Rika did, obviously. He just pressed W and Camille couldn't hook shot in. But Victory looked very, very good, danced around everything, and then used that realm warp to get out. Always good to see.
Can you
So
talk
in
about
the
the
end,
play from Eocon on the bottom? No, we have to
I
see
wonder
this
which one
one
we're
again.
going to
Can
get a
you
replay
please
of.
highlight the top side?
This was
No,
atrocious.
you
So this
have
is
to be kidding.
obviously the
No.
clone. This is
Neocon.
obviously the clone. Are you kidding me?
And he goes
They
down
get
for
the
it.
kill. Yeah, they
Oh
get the kill. The
no.
jungler goes down. Oh my
And they
god.
give the kill over to the LeBlanc. Ah, that's exactly what they wanted to avoid.
Oh,
What a play, Meocon.
that
What
was
a play.
awful.
Yeah, but after 2 kills, I think we'll go back to a little bit of a low state. We are only sitting on 3 kills total at 19 minutes, so really a slower game for VCS standards. And Rika might be in a little bit of trouble. I'm sorry, once again.
Yeah, he doesn't have his ult either to potentially get out. That with how far forward that Camille ult is, he's actually pretty safe there. Did have to use his flash, but considering how many people were around him, that's not a bad result. And
Yeah,
he just
very
has
good
to keep
timing on the
backing
flash
up
as
there.
well.
Hopefully his team is coming to reinforce, or are they just going to trade top lane for top lane? Top lane for bot lane, I should say.
Yeah, looks like they want to go for the trade. The trade is not really that great for FTV, because they had the bot lane outer turret secured already. It's 2 turrets for 1 turret and 1 mountain drake, which is
Mountain
probably
Drake's
fine for
pretty
FTV. Yep, they scale better anyway, so a little bit of immediate gold is not that big of a deal. They like
No,
to go for the late
B
game.
gets bound up, but not much going through that black shield. Slater charging forward, trying to get something done, and it forces the stopwatch. And now Rika in a little bit of enemy territory here. He might have overstepped, but CBL just gets absolutely cleaned up by the duo of Ryze and Lucian. Slater now trying to get away, but police has sniffed him out. The sniffer dogs are out in force, and they smelled the bird. Down he goes.
That
So
was a good
that's a good play there for
old
FTV.
formation for once.
Yep, good play.
Wait, Rika is still here.
Yijin, I don't know about this one. Throws himself in, does get Myokon, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get out. Yijin will go down.
And they
And this is Baron. It's instant Baron.
Insta Baron start. They have one Mountain Drake and one Infernal Drake, so this Baron should actually go down quite quickly. They don't have a Smite to secure, so Optimus can definitely try to contest here. Oh, he actually doesn't go for it. Interesting.
Yep, and that is Baron secured at 20 minutes for FTV. This is looking really good for them.
Yeah, very fortunate positioning of the team fight, I think. They're directly in front of Baron. The turn to make the turn call is not that hard of a decision if you're already in front of Baron anyway, so FTV liked this one a lot. Now look at Police's damage on the ult. He just completely killed Desire only using ult. That was brutal.
Super blind as well. Just absolutely ripped him up.
4-0 by the way. Police popping off on this crit Lucian.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good. I'm glad to see it. I need to stop pointing out when we've got a bit of a standings mismatch in Champions Select, apparently, because every time I do it, we get the winner coming in from the underdog. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean,
it's looking really good for
Flash has
FTV.
looked a little bit rough in the first game, especially in a few series now. They went 2-0 last week in series, but it was 2-1 in both of those series, and one of those was against Cerberus. So, still struggling a little. Most of the time they still get away with the series win, which is the most important part. So, we have to see if they can adapt, or if they even come back in this game. It's only a 4k gold lead. But looking at the scaling, 4k gold lead is not looking great for them.
No, it's really not. Victory charging forward here. He's looking potentially to challenge here. Keeping
Optimus?
that rush up. Optimus blinks back, trying to do a little bit of Civ HD on it. Whoopsie daisy. Optimus, where are you going? I mean, he's buying a lot of time.
Yeah,
his Baron buff
wasting a lot of Baron time.
Yeah, getting a lot of ults as well. Oh my god, Optimus. And remember, Myokon, don't kill the clone. Kill the actual LeBlanc. And they do get him eventually, but
yeah, this time they killed both LeBlancs, so that worked out for Myokon.
Yep, no confusion.
By the way, Rika, why? Why are you doing this to us? Why another Trinity?
Come on, bruh.
Man.
We're never going to be fully happy with him.
No.
He either doesn't pick the poppy or he builds it badly. Come on, man. We want to praise you. So much damage. Forces the flash, and here comes Rise. Victory coming forward, living up to his name. Oh, the damage. CBL just lives, though. Oh, he's on a sliver of health.
Yep. This is pretty much over. This game, I don't think Flash can do a whole lot anymore. Victory is level 15, so he hasn't even hit his late game Rise state. Level 16 will be painful. You don't want to play against that. He's now hitting for 700 in terms of the Q crit damage, so 30% extra on the next level will be around 900 maybe. So.
Yep, and that's ignoring the fact that he'll pick up items between now and then. So
exactly. So he'll hit for 1,000. CBL is probably just that with 1 EQ, or maybe WEQ will be enough.
Yeah, I think he's probably got just over 1,000 effective health, but
I mean, he's
not going to last
a little bit of damage as well. So EQ is actually hitting you for 1,100 maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, CBL, he's not going to have much left in the tank. We can say that for sure.
And look at the LeBlanc itemization, I think. Whenever you see LeBlanc going for a defensive item second, the game is pretty much over. Because
it's a bad time.
This is a Banshee Swale LeBlanc. You never want to see a Banshee Swale LeBlanc.
Yeah. No, especially not second. Late game, yeah, okay, fine. Pick up a Banshee's Veil if there's something important to have hit the spell shield, but not second item. That's a real bad time. And we will continue the rainbow of Drakes here for FTV, really buffing all of their individual element stacks.
Yep.
Do get one of each. And here's Rika just throwing himself in.
Yeah, it's Trinity's completed, so now he wants to look for Trinity trades against the better Trinity user. But looking at his items, he'll probably still win the trades. What?
Oh, police flashing forward, nearly getting the double kill. Little bit over aggressive there, but it's good to see the hype. And look at these crits coming out on these minions. Bang.
Yeah, this is late game Lucian.
Police
Lucian, for the most time, the last 2 years, has been an early game champ. But with this crit build coming back to popularity, we see a lot of late game Lucian, and he's still a strong champ. If you just look at DPS numbers on the late game, he has a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's good to see that. I don't like when champs get super pigeonholed, so it's good to see that there is a little bit of flex. Lucian can kind of build towards each stage of the game, depending on which one he wants to go.
Yeah, and those champs are most of the time the best for competitive, because you don't have to overly rely on one stage of the game. Competitive is pretty much safest champ is king, and then when some champs hit a critical level at some stage of the game, there's an overwhelmingly strong early game jungler like Olaf in the LPL, or an overwhelmingly strong late game champ like Sona in the
Here
LCS.
comes the fight, though. That's a really good ult there by CBL, locking them all in the rage cage, and the kills are coming in. Victory's had to go golden. He's actually really low, with space taking Slater there for his team.
Lucas
Optimus is
healing,
here.
though.
He's going to try and pick up Myokon and should be able to. Never mind. Black Shield is here. Oh, Police went forward. Thought he was going to win it, but Slater wins it out in the end. And Myokon gets cleaned up as well. 2 for 2 in the end, which is not great.
And Baron is alive. If they get B, Baron is easy
B's going to go down. Yeah, I mean, B's dead. He just has to buy as much time as humanly possible.
This is now...
Baron could be traded, though. Look down in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's only 3 members. Oh, this is actually risky for Flash. They need a lot of time to get the Baron.
Yeah, and this tower is going to go down very, very quickly. Ryze and Poppy are going to shred it pretty well. This is a time where getting that Sheen proc is looking pretty good. Down goes the inhib. Will be traded for Baron, but I mean, most of the time, Baron gets you an inhib, so
Yep.
are you pretty fair, right?
It's a fair trade. I think Flash is still kind of fine with the trade, especially because it induces more gold. The Baron, obviously, with more team gold, is good for the team that is behind. Ooh.
Oh, X-Tech Ultimatum. That's an interesting interaction there. Does like to follow, though. So that is Victory being found. That's really bad. This Ryze is already needing to transition into a little bit of carry mode. Still alongside the Lucian, of course. He's still going to be strong for quite a while.
And almost 3 minutes of Baron. They can collect a lot of standing gold. Look at the gold totals. They're behind by 3k. The scaling is still in the advantage, or advantageous for FTV, I should say. But it's not like there are no tools at all for Flash.
They just needed to turn around. I don't like that they kept going.
Yeah.
I mean,
what does Police do here to get
why are you going that way?
Look at Police. Completely alone.
He goes forward. He went forward.
Oh, no.
He thought he could burst Slater out, but just didn't. So he just died.
He actually didn't look at Slater at all there. He wanted to go around the wall to group up with Myokon again. And thought Slater disengaged for bigger, more space or something. Yeah.
Yes. Probably not the greatest decision of all time, to say the least.
And now Slater's items are kicking in. He's sitting at 100% crit. If Slater goes full carry mode, Flash might still be able to pull out the victory here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably dependent on Victory completely messing up his Ryze, because he is now hit level 16, so the 1000 damage crits are ready to go.
Yeah, but I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it's Slater, right? He's been an incredibly impressive ADC, has put the carry pants on several times. So, have to see if he's going to be able to tighten that belt once again, or if Victory is going to live up to his name, because this is largely on Victory now.
Yeah, Rika can play a good front line, Myokon can engage well, Police can follow up with damage, but Victory is the key component in this team composition. He needs to bring the AoE damage, he needs to burst down the enemy threats that want to dive quickly. Yijin and Stark especially should just die to the damage from Victory very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm wondering if Flash deliberately killed the dragon before the 30-minute mark. Very interesting decision here, because the next dragon will still be an elemental drake, so we will not see Elder until 40 minutes. They killed it at 29:57, so almost the latest possible timing to kill the dragon and not get an Elder
Yeah,
Drake.
I mean, it's hard to know whether they did that on purpose or if they were just picking up the free Drake. But I mean, it's kind of paid off for them, even ignoring the Elder Dragon delay. Getting a Mountain Drake as the next Drake is good for them. They want a Mountain Drake. They don't have one.
Yeah, the FTV really does. What was that?
They thought there was a push bait.
Interesting. Um, that looked a little silly.
I mean, thankfully, it doesn't really matter. All they really used was the Light Felt, which
And
has
speaking of
such
things
short.
that don't really matter, it's the Mountain Drake for FTV. They have already secured a Mountain Drake. They don't need another Mountain Drake.
They don't
Especially with
care
level
about.
16 Rise, they will melt the Baron anyway. So another Mountain Drake really doesn't do a whole lot for FTV. So they have to be very annoyed that the Infernal Drake will not spawn until 40 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. And now we just need to see who is going to really press down on the gas here. Uh, you'd think it should be Flash, just because we do think the scaling is going to be in favor of FTV. But FTV is the ones playing forward. Mjolkon getting hit by the chain there, but the Black Shield is good. So he's all right. There's no objective really on the map at the moment, so it is sort of just posturing for position and trying to punish mistakes.
Yeah, I almost think the scaling doesn't matter anymore, because all the important carries have hit their scaling marks. We have 4 items on Slater, 100% crit. We have the level 16 mark for Victory. He can still scale up with damage and penetration, obviously. Still not on the 1000 damage crits, so there's still a little bit of room to get stronger. But he has hit the most important point, which is level 16. And then Police has scaled up. I guess Rika can get stronger on the front line. Maybe that's the important part for FTV. If he gets 2 more items and can occupy Slater's time for maybe 6, 7 seconds, they should be able to win the team fights.
But he's in
V,
a
where
lot of
are you?
trouble
Why are
here.
you there?
The Realm Warp's being used, though. Mjolkon will go into the back here. Does get the ult straight onto CBL. Not going to be fooled by any clones. Flag and drags out. That Lux ult hits all 5, but it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, and it is just going to be the disengage.
My god,
B,
B,
you
what
can't
was
make those
that?
mistakes. You can't make those mistakes, man. You got bailed out there by your team, but that could very easily have been just him going down and them completely losing map control.
Did you see how B just went straight back into the Lux ult? Like, oh, I want a little bit of that.
Hit me, yay! Light is good, right?
A little bit
Yeah,
of
that's
sunbath.
yeah, exactly. I just want to get a tan. Morgana's skin, it's she's purple. She needs a bit of a tan.
Is that indicative of her getting too much sun? Purple skin does not really sound too great.
True. I mean, I don't know what you'd have to do to turn purple.
You have
It's
to be a
probably a
fallen
bad time.
angel, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a small price to pay. But that is Baron being picked up there for FTV. That was Flash making the call that they were going to trade an inhib for
But they're
Baron.
not fast
But
enough to
can
get the
they get
inhib.
the inhib?
Nope. It's not an inhib. It's only an inhib turret. So this now is a very good Baron for FTV. It should be enough to close out the game. Because they can now re-push the bot lane inhib turret. And ooh, an engage is called. Poppy's teleporting to the flank.
Yeah, and there was a Realm Warp used there. Yijin takes so
Oh,
much
Slater.
damage. Riku's here. Slater gets caught here. He's in so much trouble. Down he goes. He's cleaned up here by Victory, and that is so, so big. Slater is such a linchpin of the Flash team. Stark, though, is in the base. Could pick up an inhib. Is this a base race?
No, he can't base
No,
race. There's no
Victory
minion way
backed
for him.
off. Yeah, and Victory's backed off to make sure of that. B caught out a little bit there, but Yijin will be the one going down. Now Optimus has to find his way out. Mjolkon, just don't ult the clone.
Oh my god, FTV's coordination is so bad. Please
This
just
is
group up
awful.
mid and go
Why aren't they
down the lane with the Baron buff. Why are they chasing for
One kill
kills?
doesn't matter.
No.
One kill doesn't matter. It's for the Blanc. She will literally kite you forever.
Oh, they're wasting so much time. What? Oh, Meocon, stop! Stop, please!
I don't even think they kill her.
And even if they do, what did they get? It's so useless to kill her.
This
They need
is
to kill
really
inhibitors, not the
Yeah.
LeBlanc.
I mean, they're finally gonna get her once Lucian gets in
Optimus has a
here.
lot of fun in this game, but
My God.
my
That was
FTV
awful
has
from
just
FTV.
wasted more than the half of the Baron buff's duration.
Yep. That was
Doing
awful.
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right,
They lost an
they-
inhibitor and got a few kills.
They got a second Mountain Drake. Like, cool.
Yay.
That's gonna help, right? Yeah. Wow.
That's top
As if
priority.
that's
Especially
that
after
was really,
securing
really
Baron.
bad. They need to get this. They need to get this bottom inhibitor. If they don't get this bottom in here, this is a really dire
And
play
even
for
if they
them.
do, it's only 1-for-1 trade in terms of inhibitors
Yeah, it's
overall.
still not good. It's
They
still not
should
good.
have been able to close out the game, pushing down mid lane. They completely abandoned mid lane. I mean, nice.
Yep.
You got an inhibitor trade, so now super minions are fighting each other in the bot lane.
Yep.
Great.
Exactly. It's really not good enough. Optimus is back up, so nothing of any value was secured while he wasn't there.
What a TP.
Stark potential. I think he was potentially looking for a flank, thinking that maybe
I think he
FTV
completely
would back
forgot
off
that
a
they
bit.
had Baron recalls, and therefore were
Yeah.
already gone when his TP finished channeling.
Yep.
Because the Baron TP is
Powered
faster than the
recall is
TP.
very strong.
Slater full items. He's still a very big threat, and we saw him getting completely caught in the
Myokon
last fight.
throws himself forward here. Yijin taking a lot of damage, but Myokon as well. That tanky boy is not quite tanky enough, but it's Yijin that'll be found. The Realm Warp forward is called. Police trying to chase down Optimus, but thinks better of it. Realizes that he will just get kited around forever. Good decision, mate. But in the end, it is just that one kill picked up. No objectives on the map that, at least no jungler relevant objectives. So can they get down this mid lane to potentially take another inhib? That's really the only prize available.
Baron has abated, so it shouldn't be too easy. Slater has a lot of wave clear, and Optimus is a big threat, especially to B. As we can see, B is struggling a lot against this LB in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, these waves are just not going to survive long enough without Baron buff.
I like this move from Victory. He's threatening bot lane, even though there's still an inhibitor killed from the side of Flash as well.
Yep, and there is the inhib turret. The inhib itself should follow fairly soon after. B takes a lot of damage, gets ignited.
So annoyed.
And the inhib doesn't go down in the end. They have to back off.
Yeah, they can't really full commit to the inhib. They could try to, but it's very risky. They would probably lose... it's actually possible for them to do that. Because there's not a big objective for the enemy teams to secure. I don't think they can finish through bot lane, as the push is now in favor of FTV in the bot lane. So they could have actually committed to the inhibitor. I think it needed 2 more auto attacks. Maybe they give up the life of Meocon or Rika for an inhibitor. I think that's worth it. Especially as Baron and Elder Dragon are not on the map.
Yeah, I do agree. With nothing really to secure for Flash, I think just trading 1 or 2 kills wouldn't really have mattered. They would have respawned in plenty of time. But regardless, it is an open inhib at least. Baron coming up in 30 seconds. Elder not too far behind it. This game should eventually crack. And we'll have to see what's inside.
And by the way, a very good point in chat I just read. In the last fight, Rika hit 2 members of the enemy team with his ult, making it a 5v3 for FTV. And if he managed to do this again in the next team fight, they might just be able to completely stomp Flash in the next team fight. Very good Poppy ult.
Yeah, absolutely. This is
Meocon,
that.
can you please stop
Meocon!
ulting Optimus?
Pick anyone else,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Literally anyone else. Stop ulting LeBlanc. This is such a waste. It's almost like he's just trying to prove, no, guys, I do know what the real one is.
Yeah, nice.
Really not good enough. And Baron started up here. This will go down quite quickly. Oh, God, it is absolutely melting. Already gone. And the realm
Poor
warp
B.
out as well, except they left B behind, and it wasn't really a realm warp out. It was a realm warp into the fight. Oh my god, police is going off. Woo, woo, woo. The cops are here, boys. Run away. You're in some trouble. It should be the quadra kill. He won't be able to get the pentacle Slate is far too far away. Unless they really try and leave it for him.
Oh, wow, Rika really wants to
They
give over the
actually,
pentakill.
they really are. This is actually going to be the penta, almost certainly.
Wow!
Pentakill! Police!
Is
He's
this our
arrested
first
them. They're all
pentakill?
going to go away for life.
I think it's our first pentakill, right? We had
I
quadra
think that
kills,
is
but
our first pentakill.
woo!
Yep, that is our first penta.
What a decisive team fight in the end. I really like the Baron call. They have insane Baron damage. We just saw the Baron go down in 5 or 6 seconds. It was very quick Baron. I think Flash was caught off guard. They didn't think the Baron would go down this quickly. And then what a great call with the Realm Warp to reposition into the team fight
that
and
Realm Warp
play
was
from the bottom side of the Baron pit to have a clear front line, because their problem was if they were to fight with their current positioning, they couldn't establish a real front line, as the AoE would be very hard for the Rise to really set up. So they repositioned in a way that made the battle lines more clear for their team. I really liked this play. That looked very well coordinated.
That was really, really good. That was basically as good as can be asked out of FTV in that final fight there. And obviously, we're all going to focus on police. Did pick up that pentakill, which is obviously super, super hype, but was a team effort. Wasn't just a solo pop off in that last fight. The Realm Warp was really good. The tank play was really good. Overall, FTV, that last fight was really good. They looked a little bit sloppy throughout, but they've just picked up a win over Flash.
Yeah. I mean, beating Flash for one game is possible. We'll have to see if FTV close out this series now. They have won 2-0 against DBL, so if they get another 2-0 against the top team, I really don't understand what's going on the FTV side. How can they have this much potential and continue to lose against the other teams? It's a little bit... It's a strange team to follow, that's for sure. But yeah, what a game.
Yeah,
I mean, their mid game was
mean,
not great. Their coordination looked absolutely... I don't want to say garbage, but it was not great. Especially with the second Baron, I think that was atrocious. Their lane allocation and their movement on the map to chase the LeBlanc for more than 1 minute when your Baron buff is active.
That LeBlanc chase was just... I don't understand.
But in the end, decisive team fighting and a very strong scaling team composition gave them the victory. We'll have to see if Flash approaches the next game with a different mid lane pick. I really don't like LB for Optimus. I said it in the draft. I still stand by that point. I think he's more of a control mage play. He's a facilitator. Don't put him on hard carry champs. He did absolutely nothing this game. I mean, he baited Neocon ults.
Something to note, within the last few series, Nico priority has just vanished.
Yeah, and
he could have played Nico that game.
It's really strange because Nico buffs are coming in at 914, so maybe the players play too much solo queue on 914 and think Nico is not good anymore. While on 913 she still should be very fine. I think even on 914 she's still a good pick.
Yeah, I think she's fine. It's interesting, but before we do go into the break, we do need to name an MVP. I actually think it's kind of hard. I know that we both want to say police, right?
I think we have to give it to police, even though I think it might actually be Rika who won this game for FTV with his great Poppy team fighting. I still think you have to give it to police. He had... he died once against Slater there with the dive forwards, but everyone had their int moment. I think Victory was not good enough on Rise to really win me.
Yep.
I think Police has to get the MVP just because he dealt the damage in the team fights. He got the pentakill. A big nod over to Rika. I think Rika had a great Poppy game once again. His engages, his catches on Slater were probably more crucial for FTV to win the game. But yeah, Police with the pentakill. We can't really not give it to him, right?
I don't think we can. So yeah, I'm definitely saying Police for the MVP there.
Yeah, and we'll see the second game in about 5 minutes. Let's see if FTV can close out another 2-0 against the top team, or if Flash once again comes back after an atrocious first game to win the series anyway.
G'day, everybody. Welcome back for Game 2 of Flash vs. FTV. Bit of a good game there in Game 1. Weird to say it, but it had its highs and its lows in terms of play. FTV did pick that one up. The hype moment of Police getting that Lucian pentakill, obviously going to be a big highlight.
Yeah,
But
I think we'll see it next week in the Penta as well. That was a very well executed team fight. That was not a very straightforward pentacle. I mean, it was from Police. It was not the greatest play from Police ever. Not like he outplayed 5 people in succession and got the pentacle, but a very good team effort from FTV to get this the perfect team fight positioning. And there he
yeah,
is, 12,
that was
1, and 3. What a scoreline.
a very good game. Also, obviously, this probably doesn't matter to Vietnamese speakers. This is off topic. Look at his jersey. It says FAP TV.
Yeah, that's
I'm sure that doesn't have the same connotations in Vietnamese, so
maybe
they don't care.
there's a little bit of a wrinkle, right? At the
Yeah, it's because it's wrinkled.
yeah. I think it's probably something else. I'd hope so. Fab TV
Yeah,
would be a name.
I would.
That would be an
That's
interesting
not
name.
great. Not great there. I'm hoping it is something else. But regardless, back to more mature matters than me just acting like a 12-year-old boy. We are going into game 2 here. What do we think needs to change for both teams, but obviously especially Flash?
Optimus pick.
Yep.
I think
Don't
it's
pick
that
LeBlanc.
easy. I think it's that easy. I'd like to see a tank for Stark as well. I'm a little bit. I'm of the opinion that Stark is actually not that great a top laner. I know a lot of the Vietnamese fan base still likes Stark for his.
We're trying to establish a viewer base,
Yeah,
not alienate them.
I'm sorry, viewers. But yeah, in my opinion, I have to be honest. He did not impress me in spring, and so far in summer, he has not looked too great either. I like Stark on low econ champs. Don't put him on Camille again. He was not really doing anything.
Yeah,
Especially
I mean,
because Rika is such good. Okay, they banned out the Poppy, so that's a good change as well.
I mean that like the Poppy ban is a very good change, but I still do think, like for both teams, just a tank matchup in the top lane would actually work out for both of them. I think it suits
Especially
both their top
because you have Slater in your backline. Like, you can put Heejin on a
Yeah.
carry jungler or a semi-carry jungler for the early and mid game. Then rely on Slater in the late game. You have the best bot lane duo on the VCS probably. Slater and CBL have looked very good so far. You have Optimus on a little bit of a facilitator, maybe a little bit of control and zoning. Give him something like Nico, like maybe Zoe. Syndra is one of his favorite champs, so yeah, I really don't understand what they wanted to accomplish with the last team composition. I think they go a little bit too much um, for meta picks without thinking about their own strength as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I do think that is a very correct observation. One change that we do have here is, well, so far there is still one ban. No Nidalee ban so far. I have to see if they're going to remove that. No, they take out the Karma instead, so we could potentially see Myokon go back to the Cougar.
And is Camille first pick worthy in this very weird series now? What happened to Aurelia? Did all the VCS teams completely lose faith in Aurelia?
Is Aurelia disabled or something? Because
no, we saw her yesterday, right?
Well, yeah, but has something happened in the last 12 hours or something? This is unbelievable that Irelia's gotten through a draft for one, crazy enough, and she's apparently not ban worthy. And I mean, picking Lux, I actually don't disagree with.
I really like this one.
Yep, pick this away from Yokon. He looked iffy on it last game just because stop ulting LeBlancs. Especially stop ulting LeBlanc clones.
And stop ulting LeBlancs with Banshee's Veil. Like, what did he do? Why? The late game was weird from Leocon.
Absolutely, but he still had good engages. Like, even though his ults were very spotty, he still, I think, Jarvan, he looks really, really good on. So picking that away makes sense. And now this is the pick we wanted to see.
Yes.
Put Optimus on Corki. He might have to go into Azir this time, but you're not that upset.
Yeah, and Optimus should be absolutely fine into Victory's Azir. It's not like Victory's an Azir god. And the matchup is, yeah, in the early game it's not great for Corki. He struggles a little bit, especially if the Azir adapts his rune choice and goes for lane-focused runes. Ooh, this might be a
Ooh,
yay! There it is.
it's the Gragawo boys. Here we go.
And this is mid
I'm
jungle because
hyped.
we already see the Lux locked in. So Yasuo to counter the Corki, an interesting adaptation.
I mean, Corky can't really stop Yasuo from doing what he wants to
Nope.
do in the early and the mid game, so I don't think that is a bad thing for FTV.
And now with the,
Aatrox locked in as well. That's a strong pick.
yeah, I like the top side from Flash. It's a very meta top side. It's Aatrox, J4, Corki. On the other side, we have also a fairly meta draft, I'd say, for FTV with Lux
Yeah.
first pick on 913. She's probably the strongest champion.
The
So
Premier support.
yeah,
Definitely the
maybe
strongest
Yumi is
support,
even
if
stronger, but
not.
I'm not sure. Lux and Yumi are both very strong in their own ways. Sometimes Yumi is more favored for some teams, especially if they want to play around bot lane. Lux more of the overall strong pick. If you can play around her, you can completely disregard her. You can do whatever you want around Lux because she's a very strong laner and scales well into the later stages as well.
Yeah, it's very true. And I mean, like, the Gragas Yasuo, it's not exactly, like, it's not every game or anything like that, but it's a pretty solid meta curveball, you know? It's a thing that's always there.
Oh,
And Ezreal locked in for Slater here. That's already signaling, yeah, we just want to play safe and scale up in
man,
this
I
game.
absolutely love the draft from Team Flash. I think Ezreal Corki is one of the strongest late game setups you can run. It's a lot
Mhm.
of poke, a lot of team fighting, a lot of safety. You can't really dive either of those champs. I really like this combination of double ADC. I think it's the
Yep.
strongest double ADC setup you can run with Ezreal and Corki. Ezreal a little bit stronger in the mid game. You have double Trinity power spike if you want. So you have one item power spike. Both champs are good throughout the game. Corki gives you the late game DPS, while Ezreal gives you a lot of utility in the late game. And we might
Yeah,
see Rika.
you also get pretty insane siege
Yeah,
from. Okay, we don't get Rika Irelia. We get Rika Akali instead. And a point you made last night kind of rings true. As oxymoronic as it sounds, sometimes you want to put weaker top laners on Akali just because she's so safe.
yep, exactly.
She just doesn't die.
She can't really die. It's almost impossible to die on Akali if your brain machine is running. Which, to be
Exactly.
fair,
As long as
sometimes we see those brain machines not work in the VCS, but
Yeah, I mean, I do hope like someone sorts out Vietnam's power issues because it just doesn't seem like it can sustain the two brain machines at once.
so now looking at the two compositions, I favor Flash's composition, I'd say, especially with Tom Kench on 913 still being one of the strongest champs in the game. If you just look at solo queue win rates, you have double ADC to scale into late game. We have a very strong mid game setup with double Sheen power spike with
Yep, this
Stark
is a
on mid
ridiculous
game champ as
team
well.
by Flash.
Yeah, I think this is
Flash
a
has
very well
assembled.
rounded team composition.
Yeah,
It
they've
can
they've
fall behind
assembled.
though.
Yeah, but I still think they've assembled all five pieces of the puzzle. I think Exodia is here. This is gonna be really hard for FTV. Uh, I just don't see a weak point for Flash. You know, where do you try and exploit?
You try to exploit mid jungle because I think Rika on
Yeah,
Akali will just scale. He will just farm. You can't really. You can play around Akali top, especially on level 6. You might look for Gragas Yasuo roam top to get a kill on Aatrox, but I think the most important part for FTV in this game is to kill Corki multiple times. Just kill him 3-4 times, and then the game is pretty much over because your Yasuo can't be stopped by anyone. It's a very straightforward plan from FTV. They have strong lanes everywhere and can look for early platings in the bot lane as well. I don't think Ezreal Tamkench can really stop them from getting a few platings. But they
yeah.
can't really kill bot lane. They can't really visit bot lane. Ezreal Tamkench is unkillable. So,
Yeah, no, Ezreal Tom can. If they die in lane, it's just a horrific misplay. Ezreal Tahm should never ever die. You just have the Tahm positioned slightly behind the Ezreal to gobble him up if needed, and yeah, they just don't die.
Yeah, this one is pretty much on Meocon and Victory. You have to see how good this synergy looks. They might even go J4 hunting in the mid game or in the around level 6, because J4 will instantly die if Gragas ults him into Yasuo ult. J4 is not that tanky a champion, especially in the early
Not
game.
super. Yeah, his shield is pretty negligible. I do like his skin though. That's a top tier J4 skin choice.
The Fnatic J4.
Yep. And oh, we're gonna have to resync because my stream just froze. I do apologise, everyone. Blame the Liberal Party of Australia.
I'll stop at 110.
I wouldn't stop yet. Just let me actually fix it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, nothing really has happened, so that's the best time for the resyncing to take place.
Absolutely. So I'm at 120.
Okay, I'm about 1 second ahead of you. 125.
Okay, 126, 27.
Yep, this should be fine. Sorry again.
Lovely. Apologies for that, but we are resynced just as the minions crash, so we didn't really miss anything. And looking at the lanes here, obviously we want to see Mjolcom playing around the mid lane. That is a criticism we often have of the Gragoos we see in the VCS, is that the Gragas just doesn't visit Yasuo enough. So hopefully we don't see that here.
Sadly, we have seen Gragas Yasuo games where Yasuo is 0-1-0 at the end of the game and nothing ever happened around mid lane. That's like... Wait, what is he doing?
He's going so aggro. Just looking to press in. Did he read that maybe Mjolcom was invading him? This is a complete waste of time. He's not getting anything here. He might steal a Grom, but cool.
Okay, I think Gragas could have gone for for blue buff instantly.
I mean, I think he still can.
Yeah, his bot lane has pressure. You can 3-buff him now. Yijin had the priority over the jungle matchup. It's completely wasted it away. Yeah, Gragas is now in waiting, and mid lane is priority as well. Oh, this might be an early mid lane attempt. I don't really think they have kill pressure this early on.
I also think the lane's just pushed up a little bit too far, but it does mean that Yasuo can come with Mjolcon here to try and steal this blue buff away. Little bit unfortunate that, like, you can, because what you'd love to do here is give the mid laner the blue buff, right? But you'd never give a blue buff to Yasuo. Yeah, you could give it to B, but they do end up.
He wants the experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
what did Yijin do? He completely out-jungled himself.
Yeah, he absolutely lost it. But yeah, pro tip to everyone watching, never give your Yasuo's blue buff. It literally does nothing. I mean, the only thing it affects is wind wall. Yeah, but only on wind wall. E doesn't have a cooldown, and Q cools down off attack speed.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it literally only affects ult and wind wall, and ult doesn't have a cooldown anyway.
Ult, I guess. Ult cooldown, right?
Yeah, but it's so short anyway. Are you really setting... How often are you setting up the Yasuo?
Yeah, you're right. Gragas, can you please kill your third buff now?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. But, I mean, he's still got a red buff in the back pocket. Rika going forward here, looking for a little bit of a play.
I think there was solo kill potential actually there, but he doesn't know where Yijin is, so doesn't want to commit. Look at
that's good to see, right? Obviously, he looks a little bit silly when you can see the entire map, but he can't see where the enemy jungler is, so it's good to see that he's not potentially making a mistake.
But they have a very good guess where the enemy jungler is, because Mjolcom just invaded and spotted the enemy jungler, and there was only one camp available for Yijin, so it was a well-educated guess. Or even more than that, I think. They could almost 100% be sure that he would be pathing topside.
Yep. Pretty much. Junglers are able to read each other pretty easily just by...
What are you doing? Can you please clear your bot side jungle?
Yeah, this is a bit ridiculous, leaving the Krugs and the red buff alive for this long.
Especially Krugs are such a valuable camp in terms of experience. You really want to get the rubber banding going on the Krugs.
Yeah, absolutely. Rika looking actually really good on this Akali, just off top of it. He's not going to... Yeah, but it's good to see Rika sort of flexing his muscles, but
Oh,
could be in a
you
lot of
jinxed him.
trouble
You jinxed
as
him.
Yijin comes in. I have jinxed him, but he could get the solo kill. Oh, he was close, but he is going to go down. He doesn't have Shroud, so yeah, goodbye. Oh, Stark!
Whoa,
That was
Stark!
completely unnecessary. What a risk.
Why did you waste Flash, Stark? That
And
was...
Flash is gone. Like, you can get solo killed
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. That was...
CBL gets caught in a binding.
Yeah,
The
CBL
shields
is
are
dead.
popped, but he's taking a lot. Has to flash away. Police flashing forward. I don't know if that was going to ever work, but Slater takes so much down. The light binding hits, but nothing to follow up. Oh, my word. My jaw hurts from so much action already.
Wow, they didn't get the kill on CBL. I
Nope.
thought CBL was dead, but he's more tanky than I anticipated, and they didn't have the damage after the initial burst from the PTA dropped. I thought the damage would continue, but obviously with PTA proc gone, they lacked the damage to kill the TK there.
Yeah, I
Stark,
mean, TK's hard to kill,
yeah,
especially with a
that's true.
heal.
But early on, he's actually not as tanky as everyone thinks.
Yeah, that's true.
Stark, I really wanted to talk about Stark's rune choice because I like this one. This is the right
Yep,
rune choice.
super
Thank you very
happy.
much. Electrocute, please go electrocute on the uh, Aatrox. It's his best rune. It's very, very good.
Absolutely, it so is, and he's named after he's Stark. You know how smart Tony Stark is, and I know that reference means nothing to you because you don't watch superhero movies, but people in Twitch channel know what I'm talking about. It's all that matters. And there's the Gragawoy being used. A lot of damage instantly coming out. Yijin,
Ooh,
oh
nicely done.
god. Balled everywhere, and down he goes. CBL should be going down as well. Can they potentially force something out of police? They cannot. Very well done, FTV. Great restraint to make sure that Lucian got that kill. That's exactly what you want to see out of this duo. A little bit unfortunate that Yasuo didn't get any kills. Oh, they're going under tower. Slater's in some trouble, but
No,
police as
police!
well. Oh no, he's dead.
Police!
Police!
What was that? But I wanted to point
Oh
out Victory's very good
no!
awareness using the blast cone to knock
Yep.
the enemy and TK back into his team. Very nicely done. He actually
Oh,
gave up the kill activating the blast cone there because he was knocked in the other direction to activate
yeah,
the
it was
blast cone.
super selfless play.
It's a little bit
Uh,
unfortunate because he would have liked the kill on the Yasuo. At least
yeah,
he's now sitting on 2 assists, so got
yep.
rolling a little bit.
But I suppose you'd rather make sure you get the kill, right, than try and get it in the right place. You would have hated to see the J4 blast cone away, so I mean it kind of makes sense.
And look at the top lane. It has been a struggle for Rika. Early game, he looked very good in the trades, but he actually missed a lot of CS, and now is sitting at a 20 CS disadvantage. The early
Pretty
kill
much.
for Stark really has paid off. Look at this one again.
God,
Look
the ult
at
had
Victory's
the ult had
awareness.
damage.
Wait, never mind me, I guess.
He didn't get knocked away. It was just a bit unfortunate that the
Wait,
last
what
tick of
happened?
damage wasn't his dash.
Wait,
got
I
A.
think Meocon activated the... Maybe it was an A-click for Meocon. I'm sorry. I wanted to praise Victory because I thought I spotted something cool.
Police!
Oh, man.
Oh, he's gone from a SWAT team from last game to a bit of the Paul Blart Mall Cop in this one. Not
That
looking
was
great.
ugly. That was completely unnecessary and very ugly. Now Slater is very comfortably sitting at an accelerated S-Reel with a CS lead and a kill lead. Oh, not a kill lead actually. It's 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
And now we can
But
see TK
Lucian scales
roam.
better.
But as I say that, TK roams are not really that great, so he'll probably not roam.
Ooh, victory lies in wait. But Stark isn't going to venture any further down. Not going to go into anyone's grasp. So
And
now, where do
now
we see Dragon's visit next?
Yeah, Yasuo. It has to be Yasuo.
Yep,
They have
hopefully.
the old combination available again. They really want to fight in the jungle again, because diving Optimus with Yijin maybe there as well is very
Ooh,
risky.
Stark is deep here. He could be in
Just go
trouble.
for Stark.
Yeah, they should
Is
know
that
he's
spotting
there. Oh, apparently they didn't know exactly where he was. And
Whoa.
he's pretty safe there. A little bit of Mission Impossible. He's put the cardboard box over his head and solid snaked his way out.
I love his super slow walking animation. Start of
Yeah.
trouble.
You can just imagine him whistling to himself. Just doo,
Yeah.
doo, doo. It's like that old there's that
Doesn't even have
old
boots yet.
animation. It's that old animation, Can't Kill You in the Zillion. But
Yep.
there was one that he made that was Braum and Lucian doing that. It was hilarious. Anyway, other than stupid references that I'm sure some people remember, looking at this game now, it is just a 500 gold lead over to Flash, but we do favour their team comp pretty heavily, I think. So we're going to have to see FTV potentially make a play, and we keep harping on about it, but we really do want to see the Gragas Yasuo coming together. This is why you pick this pair.
And I mean, they have already succeeded once. I think
Yeah.
they need to look for more jungle fights. But on the other side, Flash obviously know how the last fight went. So they don't really want to enter any other jungle fight themselves.
Yep, and Shelly is just getting absolutely bullied here by Flash. Honestly, potentially going to be joining the Naughty Boys bench with Zeros if they keep treating her like this.
Be just an ignited Stark.
Yep, he did. And there's the Gragas ult, but not going to knock the right way, so they don't pull the trigger on the Yasuo. A little bit overzealous there by Myokon. I think he should have recognized that there was no real potential. And Rika's in a lot of trouble here. His Shroud's already used.
Ooh, nicely done.
But good enough to dissuade it. He dodged the EQ. He did well. Rika looking pretty good this game. Even though he is down, he's been receiving a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh-oh, Police is in trouble. Oh, never mind. Optimus
Man, the
is going to back
communication
off
from
with
FTV is a little bit off, I have to say.
I think it's looking better.
You think
Don't
so?
you think?
I mean,
They
the
called that TP in
microplays.
at the exact right time.
Yeah, they called the TP. The TP from Rika was good, but the reaction from Police to the TP was not good at all. He went
That's
back,
true.
he flashed out of there while the TP came in. Why would you do that? He was
Yeah,
not in
that's
immediate danger of dying. I don't think so. And even if you die, you secure the kill for your top laner Kali, who invested her TP to get there. So I think that kill trade is still in favor of your team. So those small little miscommunications really hurt them a lot. I think the same showed with the Gragas and Yasuo on the mid lane. Yasuo didn't hit his Q, and then hold the thought, another engage.
All right. Potentially engage around this Mountain Drake. This is a pretty important Drake here for both teams.
And
it
now the
doesn't
waste
like Flash
the
will be
Yasuo
picking up
ult,
pretty-
so they can't fight anymore.
Yep. Pretty much.
FTV. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate to see, because it's very minor things that it really hurt them this game. The Gragas Yasuo point I was going to make, it was in the mid lane. Gragas ulted anyway, and either you ult and commit to the double ult, or you don't ult at all. The ult was completely, like, I don't understand where the communication was there between the Gragas and the Yasuo.
Yeah.
If Yasuo
I agree with you
calls,
that
okay,
time.
I engage, if I hit my Q, we go for the kill. If I don't hit the Q, you don't do anything. That should be easy to communicate in a pro play setup.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that should, and especially that's something you should. You barely even need to verbally communicate it if you've scrimmed this enough.
Yep.
You should just know, based on the scenario, he's going to go forward, or he's not. So.
And now Optimus is at 0-0-0 at 14 minutes. It's not a great sign for FTV, as there seems to be a little bit of a problem. Hello, can you still hear me? Oh, okay, it was on the VCS side, I think. Did you experience the same?
The little bit of lag?
Yep.
Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay. We're fine. It's on the official broadcast. Still, apologies for the little lags. We sometimes get to see a few minor hiccups here and there. It shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully we don't see too many of those. It's always a little bit unfun. Rift Herald should be picked up here by FTV, but it's not going to be super high value. It's already 15 minutes.
Flash, you don't need to fight for this one.
No,
We
just give
really
this
don't.
up.
This is a little bit risky for Flash. They could throw away their lead, and they just gave a free
Yep.
kill over to Rika.
That's an important kill as well. Getting that Akali ahead.
I mean, Flash still doesn't need to fight for this.
Nope.
This is such
This
an
Rift Herald does
overcommitment.
so little. This Rift Herald is super low value. They do not need to
Yeah,
come into
it
this.
seems like they're willing to give it up. Yijin. Okay, they get the Rift Herald in the end. FTV able to secure this objective. They will probably be able to get one turret off of the Rift Herald, maybe in the mid lane, maybe in the top lane. But yeah, the Rift Herald at 15 minutes is not that valuable. You don't have to fight for that one. And the kill is actually more impactful for FTV than the Rift Herald itself.
Yeah, but that is first turret being picked up there for Flash. So...
Yeah, I mean, they could have just taken the turret while the enemy team was doing Rift Herald and not given up any kills. Like, you really don't need to overcommit to objectives that don't mean anything. Rika is not level 11, so he doesn't have solo kill potential here on Stark.
No,
and he doesn't have his
two
ult
levels
available
down
anyway.
there. Yeah, this 1v1 matchup of the Aatrox versus the Akali has actually gone really poorly for FTV. 50 CS deficit, 2 levels. Not what you want to see. It's good to see that Rika did pick up a kill at least.
Yeah,
but
it's more as well. There's no way Rika deals any damage to Stark. It's a very hard side lane to play.
Yep, he just tanks everything. Not going to do much at all. But let's see how we go moving forward here. We still have potential. We have the level 11 Yasuo now. He's still very scary with his big power Gragas.
And he has built stopwatch, so this is the time where they want to fight. It's Trinity's power spike for the Corki, so he's a little bit scary. But you have one item secured on Yasuo, one item on the Lucian as well. Pretty strong Gragas right now with a lot of burst. Sadly, your Akali can't really contribute a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario for the next 5-10 minutes for FTV is to play this as a bit of a 4v4. Really try... Ooh, that was an interesting little one there. Well done by CBL, munching Yijin there to stop any potential of the Gragas Yasuo.
Yeah,
oh, never mind though. Optimus gets caught instead. Actually, even worse. They get the mid lane tower. CBL has taken that Abyssal Voyage in as well. He's in so much trouble. Down he goes. Yijin throws himself forward. That True Shot barrage does so much, but it's 3 kills picked up. Slater could go big here alongside Stark. The health bars are not looking good. A little bit anemic here for FTV as Rico is absolutely hitting the legs, but down he goes in the end. 3 for 2, but it could have gone so much worse.
Yeah,
really well done there by FTV.
Play for FTV. Yeah, very, very good play for FTV, especially with only Rika and Victory going down. It's still a trade up, and they got a turret as well. So, nicely done.
Yep, absolutely.
I wanted to really criticize Mircon for his ult there, but then he immediately made it up with a very good E-flash, so let's not criticize him for that, because this one was very clean.
It's almost a better thing, because if they'd used the Yasuo ult on Yijin, they wouldn't have been able to use it on Optimus. So hindsight is 2020. Play was correct.
And then just no idea what CBL was thinking here. Yijin delays long enough for Slater to secure 1 kill on Victory, actually, with the turret. And now...
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really
very well communicated from FTV for once.
Rika's just a sacrificial lamb. He knows he's going to die there, and he doesn't really care. The rest of the team gets out, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and all in the same direction, all on the same page. The first time we've seen FTV really look crisp in their communication. And this game is not over yet. Flash has an advantage, but this Yasuo will hit the IE in probably 4 or 5 minutes. And if they get a good teamfight around the power spike of the IE,
I do think there's a little bit of a mistake being made by Victory here. He has actually only died once, and as we all know, as Yasuo, you really want to hit that 10 death power spike just as soon as possible. That's why the Yasuos in your game do that. They're not inting, it's actually how you play the champion. It's pretty important.
You have played Yasuo before, right?
Yeah, I know, and I went 0-10. I'm terrible at Yasuo. I don't play it much, and that's why I don't play it. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the
Like
champ is literally one of
Yasuo
the hardest
players.
champs in the game.
Yeah, Yasuo, you either are a sweaty Yasuo main that will just put teams on your back, or you're someone that only occasionally plays him and you get absolutely pumped.
Even if you're a Yasuo main, I still think you have a lot to do
There's a
right in
lot.
every game. It's not as easily repeatable as on other champs because there are a lot of
Sure.
little like Yasuo combines everything League is the
Yeah.
hard parts of leagues are about. It's about decision making, it's about damage calculation and mechanics. You need all three
Yeah.
of those to be a good sufficient Yasuo. So
Yeah, I still hate him. Don't get me wrong. I still
yeah.
hate him and wish he'd never been released.
I mean, he also combines one very important part of League, which is very bad to play against.
Yeah, exactly. And having way too much in his kit. He's got 2 passives. Why does he have that? Oh, Police, though, has no passives because down he goes, just gets absolutely destroyed. The TP into the top lane, though, is round 2 of the fight. Down goes Stark immediately. There is the kill on the Yasuo. CBL will be going down shortly. Never mind. Very nice flash by him. Milcon's now a little bit overextended. Is in a lot of trouble. And Optimus is here. Optimus Prime is leading the Autobots to victory. Down goes Rika.
Oh
Stolen
no.
there by Slater. It's all gone wrong. And Flash has flashed themselves into the lead. And Baron will
This
be
will be
their
Baron as well.
prize.
Oh, it all went horribly wrong.
Oh,
FTV will not come back from this blunder. I think it's very hard to do
no.
anything for them anymore in this game. Ooh, it looked very good. The 3v2 skirmish on the top lane. I thought they would be easily that would be an easy 2 kills for them. Look at police again.
Police, stop. You got to stop eating forward, man.
Oof, there was a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was.
And
Then
CBL
Stark
delays the
manages to
fight
play his death. Yep. Calm catch.
for a very long time.
Yep.
Now it looks like he's certainly dead, but very good time, very well timed flash over the wall.
Yep. And then the call comes in. Autobots roll out, and Optimus leads them to victory.
Look at
It's just like the
strong
cartoon.
Optimus already is.
Yeah, exactly. It's the prime.
Yeah,
I don't know if
he
you
secured.
watched Transformers in Germany, but
I think
I used to watch
I
Transformers
watched
cartoon.
it once. It was a
I
horrible
watched.
experience.
I mean, the movies suck. The Michael Bay
Yeah.
movies are terrible. But there was I don't know if it was a thing in Europe so much, but there was a cartoon when I was like quite young.
Whoa, police is.
I watched with my brothers. Police, oh my lord. As I'm reminiscing on my childhood, Police is reminiscing on his death because he's just gone. Rika as well is forced off this bot lane
What
inner, and
change
we've
of
gone
performance.
from this is just an absolute slaughter all of a sudden. FTV's in so much trouble.
And Flash would be a very bad team in EU or in A because they would only play one game and sit at something like a 4-4 record or 4-6 record.
Yep. Ooh, Optimus is caught though. Slater's also taken a lot of damage. Rika flashing forward is going to try and catch him and does. That's a 1,000 gold shutdown. This is really big actually. Could be the turn. The light binding is good. Can they find anything? I don't think they have the forward mobility here to catch Yijin. But again, the worm does turn and FTV picks up a fair bit of gold, but they are still 6k behind.
Yeah, it's not enough for them to get back into the game. I mean, Victory at least now sits on 100% crit. They could look for the perfect team fight where everything stacks on top of each other.
I mean, they still have the potential for a ridiculously explosive team fight.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I'm not sure if they have the damage to still win the team fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's
why
difficult,
did
but
Flash do
this was a
this?
massive hint. But it might actually work out though, because Stark is in the back line, has got the reset, and did someone say Aatrox? Hello?
What a performance from Stark. We were very critical
Yeah.
of him, especially I was very critical of him. But I think this
Alright, I
game he has
agree.
finally shown up. And what a performance from Stark, from the top lane. The early few levels looked a little bit weak on his side, but then the gank from Yijin came in, he got the first blood, and since then it has been smooth sailing for him. What a big lead in the top lane, 7 TCS. He's level 15.
And this is Rika on carries. You know, it's just not pretty. I think putting him on Scion even would have been pretty decent, and he's actually just getting trucked. He's getting trucked a little bit there. Forward they go. Can they find a setup? The Luxol actually doesn't
Oh.
do anything because it's a really nice stopwatch, but this should be a cleanup here for FTV, and it is. They pick up 3 kills. I doubt they're going to be able to find Slater. He's just going to be able to run away just way too fast. But still, Flash looking like they're making a few mistakes.
Yeah, once again, bad map coordination. You have your top lane Corki, or yeah, your Corki running down the top lane, I should say, without a teleport. Why are you overcommitting to an inhibitor when the Corki has not even hit the turret? That's such a basic mistake. Yeah, should not be happening to a top tier team here.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because back in the day, and I know how much you hate when I talk about this region, but back in the day,
it's fine.
when TSM dominated NA, like a year or maybe a bit more, it's like the Loco Doco era.
Oh, that's more than a year ago.
Yeah, it's like 3-4 years ago. This was when like Dyrus was still on team. This is when I was a big TSM fan. Victory's going to die by them. Just looking at this game, they would always lose game 1 of a best of 5.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, he's not going to be able to get a kill.
Oh, look at the mechanics from Victory. Yeah, it does not matter.
Yeah,
but that looks cool.
He tried. That looked good.
Cool.
He did about the best he could. He was 1v3 though. He had no real chance. But yeah, as I was saying, TSM would always lose game 1 of the best of 3s and the best of 5s, but they would always win the series. And Flash just reminds me of that because they lose so many game 1s. I don't know if it's just because they have really good coaching staff or what's going on and they're just really good at adapting.
No, they don't. They pick LeBlanc for Optimus. They don't have good coaching staff.
But that might be because Optimus has too much influence.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, that might be true.
Yeah. We don't really know, but here is the push in on the inhib. The inhib tower does go down. Stark is charging forward, as is Rika. Both of them go into the stopwatches. They're both going to die. So a bit of a 1-for-1. But inhib turret picked up. Flash is pretty happy overall.
They try to outdo themselves there. Who can int faster on the top lane?
Yeah, exactly. Who can screw up fastest? Sometimes a difficult question. And Wave 2 is coming in here as Police cleans out this bot side minions. Optimus is here. He's got the package. Special delivery has arrived.
Yeah, Police.
But will Amazon be able to drop it off?
There's a really big Corki in his face all the time, critting him for way more than he can deal.
This is depressing for Police to go from the highest of highs. Yeah, you get a pentakill and then you just have a guy riding a freaking manatee sitting in your face, just doing his weird crit animation on you the entire game.
Oh god, I hate that animation. By the way, it can be very hard to play a game on the same champion again after you just popped off on the illusion. This game he's very far behind and he's not strong at all. I think it's not as easy to calculate your damage if you just play the game of Pentacollusion.
Yeah, it's true. That'd be a good skin, by the way. I think you could have a really good Pentacollusion skin.
Pentacollusion skin? What instrument would
you
you play?
I reckon he'd be a singer.
Yeah, maybe. So he'll have 2 micros as his weapons?
Yeah, like 2 microphones. I think that'd be... Oh, yeah, or drumsticks or something. I think that'd be really cool. I like the Pentakill skin line. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. I'm not sure if he fits in with Mordekaiser and Yorick, though.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't quite fit the... I mean, but does Kale? Kale has a Pentakill skin, so does Stoner.
Yeah, I mean, Sona is just there for her instrument, right? They don't have any other champ that could go for the piano, so they had to make a Pentacle Sona.
Yeah, it's true. It's also a good skin.
Yeah, looking at the item timings, look at Slayer in this game. He goes full hybrid Asriel, so he has a lot of damage and a lot of healing coming out of his...
I think this is the best build by far.
Yeah, this is a super strong build. It's a little bit heavy on the AP side, considering you have a full AP carry in the Corki.
Yeah, but I think he just wants to be able to sit way back and just literally be a howitzer.
It's very
he's just a red light gun. And I mean, it is good for FTV that they do have a wind wall that can at least get them some respite from the queues. But overall, it's still going to be very, very difficult for them to stabilize. Like, how do you break this siege?
Yeah, they can't really do anything.
Like
look
Genghis
at the
Khan
big one damage. He just
Oh my
jumped
word.
the bot lane for 500 damage each. Like,
Yep, each.
they
Yep.
can't win
Rika
team
throws
fights anymore.
himself forward, goes straight down. Yeah, no, this is just over. Genghis Khan has broken through your walls, and you're just not getting out of this one. Stark takes a lot of damage, could potentially go down if
This is so
he
frustrating to
oversteps.
play for victory. Every time he
But
ults,
what
there's
do
some
you
Kench
do?
eating his target.
Exactly. This is very, very difficult.
And the
Should
Tapens
just
was
be
a
the end of
very
the game.
efficient
Victory
counter
gets
pick.
knocked down.
What?
Myokon as well. Oh, very, very good stopwatch there, but it's not going to matter. He tries to buy time, but it doesn't do enough. Police can't do a pop-off performance, and we go to 1-1 here.
Yeah, much more convincing performance from Flash after giving up the first game to FTV in a pretty disappointing fashion. They win the second one right in their average game time, almost a little bit longer. They're 30-22 on average so far this season, not counting today's games. Now they finish at 30 and 40, so everything back to plan for FTV. They had very good draft. We both praised their draft. Double ADC with probably the strongest double ADC setup, with Corki in the mid lane and Ezreal in the bot lane. Very good performance out of Stark. Flash,
Yeah, absolutely.
once again, might be able to eke out the victory here in the series after falling down in game one.
Yeah, very possibly. And I mean, if they play like that again, it's going to be very difficult for FTV to really find any way out. I'm not really sure what FTV changes. I'd like to maybe see Police go off the Lucian because, I mean, he didn't look particularly convincing in that game. And it kind of looks like Flash has it a bit figured out.
Do you think
They're not
FTV
gonna
could
lose.
sub in Tiger and Kuroko again?
Maybe, but I don't think their individual players looked bad. Really? Like, I think it was a team issue. Do you agree?
Yeah, I guess I'll agree. I think Tiger could be an option if you want to play Mage Spot and Yasuo again, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Victory looked good this series. Maybe they sub in Kuriko for Meokon again. He was
I'd love to
their
see a
main
call.
jungler. Maybe
I'd love
Kuriko
to see
for
a call.
Rika. I'd like to see Kuriko for Rika.
Yeah, especially if Rika's going to have his Poppy ban. Which I think you should if you're Flash. Because it's pretty much a one button, this guy's not good enough. Like,
He's only good on Poppy. He had some good Rumble games, to be fair to him.
yeah,
So
he had a
maybe he goes
couple of
back
good
to the
Rumble
Rumble.
games. Maybe. I mean, you could also pick up Sion. Like, it's a similar skill set, right? In the end, you're just a meatball.
Or Maokai.
Or Maokai. Why not, right? Maokai's fun.
Malphite. No, Malphite is good on 914. We'll see him next week, probably.
I mean, you could... Look, let's go full theory craft here. Gragas for jungle. Pick up the Yasuo again. Malphite top.
Why not?
Just go full wombo. Just go
Very
full
assertive,
wombo.
very decisive team comp. And if you fail, okay, what did you lose? It's FTV. FTV. The only really important series this second round robin for FTV is the one against Cerberus. They want to secure their 7th spot in the league because they can't really challenge for playoffs anymore. They are 1-7. There's nowhere to go for them. It's really just try to get something that works for you so you can secure your spot into the VCS next week, because you're almost 100%
I think mathematically they could avoid relegation. Mathematically they could probably make playoffs, but in the real world,
no.
You're going to relegations. You have to fight your way through that. You need to find yourself as a team before that.
The next team above them is QG at 4-5. That's
QG looks
3
so
more
better.
series.
QG looks pretty legit.
Yeah, and I think they lost against QG in the first round robin as well. So obviously they did, because they only won against DBL for some very weird reason. They won against DBL and lost against every other team. Still don't really understand what was going on there. But we have to lock down an MVP for game 2.
I think it's a little bit tricky. I'm leaning towards Optimus though. The Corki was super decisive.
Yeah.
Him or maybe Slater.
Slater had a very good game as well on the Ezreal.
Yeah, I think it's between Slater, Stark, and Optimus, but I'm leaning towards Slater or Optimus.
Yeah, I think Optimus probably
CBL.
had more game impact.
Yeah, I agree. So I think I'm leaning towards Optimus,
Yep, let's go with
but
Optimus.
I want to give a pretty big nod towards CBL. He was diffusing engages like an absolute god.
I mean, CBL is just a very good support. Sadly, we don't get to give him the MVP too often because he likes to play peel champs a lot, and getting MVP on peel champs is almost impossible because you're peeling for a guy, right? And that guy deals the damage, so
Exactly.
that
So
guy gets the MVP most of the time. So yeah, definitely a big shout out to CBL once again. And Optimus, where is Optimus on my list? Have we never given an MVP to Optimus? Oh, there he is. This is fourth MVP. So in the upper echelons as well, now tying Slater at 4 MVPs. Dejan, Slater, and Optimus have gotten all the MVPs, almost all the MVPs for Team Flash.
yep, absolutely. We're gonna have to see who can lock it down in Game 3 of our first series here tonight in about 3.5 minutes because we natted on just a little bit, but it's a good game, so we want to talk about it. But we'll see you soon. Welcome back, everybody, here for Game 3 of FTV versus Flash here on the English unofficial VCS stream. It's good to see you all in the Twitch chat, being a little bit more active, always fun. Coming into Game 3 here after a pretty dominant performance by Flash in Game 2. Can FTV take this one out, or do we think Flash is just going to secure this one and go home?
Well, sadly, I think Flash is gonna take this one. They already showed a big improvement in the second game, and usually the third game is the best game, so I think FTV will once again run away with the game with one game victory and not have anything that counts for them. They really want to transfer over to Europe or NA, where best of one is played, so they can profit from their great first games.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd be looking pretty happy if they could do that. And see Optimus there, top MVP scorer for the official stream. Not quite as high rated when you ask us, but oh well. Coming into Game 3, though, is there a way FTV can win this? Because I think it's fairly easy to talk about why Flash will win. I think they are just a better team. But how does FTV have a chance?
Yeah, let's think about how they won game 1. They drafted a very strong late game composition. They drafted Tank for Rika. They went with J4 for Mayocon. They are back to blue side. They could actually go for first pick J4. I think it's this valuable for them. And what was the mid lane matchup? Was against LeBlanc. It was Rice against LeBlanc. So maybe another Rice game for victory. Maybe go for a late game. I don't think they are good enough to snowball an early game lead. And Flash is actually not the strongest early game team. They only sit on, let me check my notes, I think about 100 or something gold lead at 15 minutes. So Flash is actually not the most dangerous early game team. Go for a scaling comp, go for a tank on Rika. Don't try to overforce any plays. Oh, they are on red side. I'm sorry, I thought they would be on blue side again. So I expect J4 banned or first picked now for Team Flash.
Yeah.
That's
and I do like that they also maintain this Poppy ban, just make it so that Rika cannot have his best champion. Makes sense to me. Yumi banned out as well. We've seen that pretty consistently from FTV all 3 games.
Do you think we will see Lux ban on the side of FTV?
I'd like to, because I think it's going to get first picked.
Yeah, I don't really see a reason not to ban Lux on their side. They could get rid of Corki maybe, as Optimus looks very good on the Corki.
I would like. I see this ban I don't like. Like, why are you banning Slater's Kaiser? He can just pick another ADC.
Yeah, I really don't understand.
Yeah, really, really good at Kaiser, but he's also really, really good at Ezreal, so you're not shutting him down.
This exact ban cost Gum the series against Flash last week.
Yep. Absolutely.
Years later, just locked in Draven and went 18-2-7.
I'd love to see him bring out the Draven here.
Oh yeah,
that'd be fun.
Let's go for Draven again.
And the Yasuo ban as well, so the Grago combo will not come out again.
And 2 bans against Victory. That's an interesting adaptation for Flash. They really want to give Optimus the best lane they can. Syndra might be an option for this game. I would like to see Lux or J4 first pick. I think J4 is even more crucial to FTV. So,
yeah, but it does look like, ooh, are they going to pick away the Lucian? Police has played it 2 games in a row. They do pick it away. I'm not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange adaptation. Now they give over Lux J4. If FTV want to pick up Lux J4, that's a super strong core already. And there's still so many ADCs available. It's not like ADC is pinched. There's Sivir, there's Zarya, there's Ezreal. 3 strong meta ADCs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's also all the mages you want. Like, this is not great. And Myocom will get his Jarvan as well. I'm a little bit tilted that Rika picks it for some reason. Come on, you're picking it at the same time. Just save yourself a swap at the end.
Yeah, they were sure they would pick J4. They still need to debate the second pick. B actually didn't really impress me in the last game. He looked a little bit off on his Lux. So they probably thought about maybe we should not give him the Lux again. But then again, do you want to give Lux over to CBL? No, I don't think so.
But I think he'll just take Tahm Kench again.
Tahm Kench Lucian is not the greatest lane ever. I think they
Ooh,
want
are
to
they
go
going to
for
go
a little bit
light
more.
steal?
Yeah, a little bit more lane focus is good with the Lucian.
Yeah, that makes sense. The wife steal lane, still one of my favorite like names for a
And
lane.
there's a wife on the other side, so easy.
Yeah, yeah.
You can
Again,
steal away the Lux and kill her very easily.
yeah. I mean, I think most people would more refer to Lux as a waifu rather than just wife,
Fair
if
enough, fair
that's the
enough.
kind of person.
Especially in her pajamas.
No, no, I don't want her with those. Keep her well away. But Azir being picked up here for Optimus does a similar thing to the Corki. Victory goes for the Syndra. Again, Corki open.
I like this one a lot, I have to say. I like
Yeah.
the Syndra for victory. I think the mid lane is very crucial, as you can see in the bans as well. With two mid lane bans from the side of Flash, they are very scared of victory. And victory now with a strong matchup on the Syndra. I think early kill on Optimus definitely is on the cards. We with J4 early ganking potential and victory stun landing maybe in the early game. They could play this completely through mid lane, through victory, to the victory for FTV.
Yeah, victory could lead them to victory, as you say. Always fun when players have that kind of name.
Yeah. I'm not sure why
Renekton
you give yourself the name police. Like,
I mean, it's
why?
like it's sort of a trend in a lot of the Asian league where sometimes players will just name themselves a random English word.
I mean, yeah, but those are normally like ambition or
Yeah,
like that's a cool name. Gorilla, okay, a little bit weird, but
I like Gorilla. I
Gorilla
like
is
Gorilla.
like very memorable. Prey. You've
Police. I mean,
police is. Why would you?
there's jokes. There's jokes I could make, but I don't think they're a little bit too political for stream. So maybe we'll just leave it aside. But I mean, I don't think it's too bad. I think you can make some pretty hype plays and say, the police are here.
Yeah, I
But
guess.
Camille now being picked up for Rika. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, not great.
Not great at all. But they did ban out the two other lane bullies from the meta. So maybe Stark is a little bit pressured.
Yeah, what will he actually go for? You might see another Irelia. I'm not sure where Irelia went. Is she disabled or
She just
something?
hasn't.
You,
No,
you.
she got Hubbard. Oh, or Nico. Hello, you're back.
Oh, this is actually a little bit risky. Early game should be in favor of the Nico, but there's skill pressure on the side of Camille.
Yep,
It's not as bad a
absolutely.
matchup for the Nico as the Irelia is. Irelia actually murders Riku in the side lane.
Yeah, totally does. But we are finally seeing another Nico.
Do we
And
get to
will we
see
see
another? Oh,
Lee?
nice. Interesting.
We do. Lee Sin being picked up here for Yijin.
Yeah, Yijin is one of the players that still goes back to the Lee Sin quite a bit. It's his second most played champ on 5 picks. Most played is Gragas, by the way. But Lee
Yep,
Sin.
he plays
Oh,
it.
and does this champ exist on this server?
VCS has found Siva. It's impressive, and they lock it in as well. I think that's a really good pick down there.
Yeah,
That'll
look at the bot
handshake the
lane.
bot lane pretty
Yeah,
easily.
absolutely. There's nothing Lucian Thresh can ever do to Civilux. Civilux scales better, has a lot of wave control. This will be the late game hope. So once again, all the eggs on the police basket. Which is a
Yep,
little bit of a weird
absolutely.
sentence to say, but whatever.
Yeah, police just taking some eggs. Sure, why not? So whose
I mean,
draft do we
some people
favour?
throw eggs at police, so that's not
Yeah,
too
exactly.
uncommon.
Those people are called heroes. Anyway, didn't want to get political, but whose draft do we kind of favour here? I think they're both pretty interesting.
Hmm. I think the ease of execution is probably on the side of Flash. They can just scale to a point where Optimus can carry the team fights. We have a strong top lane matchup. We have an active jungler on Lee Sin and a very strong bot lane. FTV's comms, though, is still. I like their comp. Their late game team fighting doesn't look bad either. They have a lot of engage. A very good backline with Sivir and Syndra and Lux as well. Two divers and
Yeah.
then three very strong backline champs. I like their role distribution.
Yep. And as we see here, Irelia is the most banned champion by Flash, but despite the patch not changing for several weeks, she has just not been a thing today.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably just on the players, right? Because FTV doesn't really have that many great Irelia players. I think Victory is fine on Irelia, but he seems to prefer
Yeah.
other picks. And then on the other side, Stark seems to not like the Irelia. Has played Jace twice and Cannon once so far in his one series we've seen from him last week. And Optimus is really not an Irelia player. He's not played her, and I really don't think he will be a good Irelia because he's a mage player only, pretty much. He has played one Kiana game, and I mean, the Kiana game kind of showed us why he has only played one Kiana game and nothing else in terms of
Ooh.
80 champs, because that was not a great game.
WTF to Yijin? The hell to Yijin? What's going on? It's
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
like a Korean Game 5s.
I mean,
They don't do
Niku
that
is not
anymore.
new to the league.
No. Those were fun when they still had those blind pick Game 5s.
Definitely. Oh, I love those. Double
was super
Yasuo
fun.
in
Yeah,
the
and obviously like the famous
I think
Zed
my
mirror.
most favorite series, even though my team didn't win, was season 4 Summer when Dade was the Yasuo god. Dade probably the
Yeah,
best player in the world at that time. Dade
yeah,
against Rookie in the final. Game 5, Yasuo against Yasuo. That was a game.
that's a hype setup. Can definitely not complain about seeing those, even if it wasn't necessarily the most competitive way to do a Game 5. It was fair. Uh,
Stark missed
Speaking of
absolutely everything in the wave there. That was
Stark,
horrible
did not.
CSing.
It really was. Is interesting. Next patch, Nico passive getting buffed a little bit, where she can actually auto attack people and not break her glamour.
Do you think it will
Something
change
that might matter.
anything?
I don't think her passive currently changes anything, but it's nice to see a cool passive getting a little bit of a buff, right?
Yeah.
Like how often does it matter? Coming forward here, CBL does land the binding into the queue, but Lee Sin is here. Police flashes away. B manages to conserve his, but that's 3 summoners burned almost instantly. Both sides, though.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure
there
I
was
had
no
to
jump.
flash there actually. The enemy bot lane was level 1 and Yijin only level 2. Not sure he had to flash this early. Very defensive play from Police. Maybe still thinking back of the last game where he didn't really look too great. Didn't want to die.
Yeah,
And then in the last game of the series. Fair enough. But
yeah, he might also have been scared since he doesn't have spell shield yet.
yeah, but the enemy bot lane on level 1 can't really do a whole lot. Like, there's not a lot of damage from Slayer on level 1. And CBL had already used this ability. So
Yep, that's
I
very
really don't
true.
think he was in too much danger there.
I do agree. As Yijin gets spotted out again, so they've got a pretty good track on where this Lee Sin is going. And up in the top lane, it's a pretty bad time for Rika.
What a surprise.
Not surprising at all. Nico is going to have lane control almost all the time, but there is kill pressure from the Camille, so Stark does have to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, there's kill pressure around level 7 probably when Q4 comes in. If he gets a good trade with PTA before the all-in, I think he can actually look for a solo kill.
Yep.
If
And
both
good to see
players
that
are
he
on
has
full
got.
life, it's not too great for the Camille, because she can't full burst the Nico, and Nico has more control with her slows as well on the auto attacks, glacial
Yep.
augment.
Ooh, B gets hooked up there, does get flayed back as well, taking a fair bit of damage, but doing a fair share back. CBL also goes low, both supports getting chunked out.
And he got something almost no Lux support ever gets, and that is aftershock damage.
Yeah, that's rare.
That's hype. As a support Lux player myself, sometimes you're in a game at 30 minutes and look at your runes, and aftershock at aftershock there's just a 0 because wants to tell you how much damage it dealt, and you never got in range with the aftershock. Like,
Yep. Of course,
nice.
that's not what you pick it for. So
No, really not.
yeah, I mean, it does show just how ridiculous Aftershock Lux is that she picks that rune and doesn't use half of what it does.
Yep. I mean, that also shows
Still.
how broken Aftershock is, because that rune
Yep.
really is. It's a mess. They really need
It's
to
a
change
I
something
think
about Aftershock, I think.
I think it's tricky because you don't want to remove it from like tanks who really like it, because I actually don't think it's degenerate on tanks. It's
No, the
degenerate
problem
on
with it
switches.
is it's actually not that great on tanks, because flat
Yeah.
resistances on tanks, like, you have a lot of resistances. You don't need flat resistances on tank. I think they need to change it to something like that. Like, the idea of Aftershock is you land CC, get tanky for a few seconds, and then deal a lot of damage with the shock part of the Aftershock, right? And I think they need to change it to something that deals more damage based on your resistances, so that tanks get an incentive to pick it up and get more damage, maybe for trades in the early game, maybe for trades in the late, for burst damage on carries in the late game. And that's
Ooh, we could see a
disincentivized if you
dive
don't
here.
have magic resist.
Ooh,
Or,
here's
oh,
the TP, but Milcon's actually pretty close.
ooh, this is
Has just
dangerous.
finished up that gromp. This is super dangerous. What will happen here? Nico ult will land, but Stark gets bounced, and he's in a lot of trouble here. Team has completely abandoned him. Down he goes. First blood for Milcon. Just about the worst case scenario there.
Yeah, Stark wanted to channel his inner Hani with an early TP on
Yep.
the Nico, but that went horribly wrong.
Yeah, they just
Did
didn't know
Yijin
where
not
Milcon
spot
was.
Meowcon?
Yeah, he didn't see him. He had
That's
no idea
interesting.
he was there. Surely, like, I mean, you don't do that dive if the jungler's there.
I really
That's
hope
never
you
worked.
don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, good point. We don't know what the VCS teams say is a time to back off. And in the jungle, it's a rumble in the jungle here as Yijin and Milcon will fight it out, but Yijin wins that pretty solidly. Except now, Victory roaming in has heavy priority, but I don't think they're actually going to go for
but
anything.
Yijin won that fight 4v5 in terms of levels. Like, that's not
Yeah,
the
that's
price you're supposed to take on, even on Lee Sin.
yeah, but I mean it's Lee Sin, right? It's Lee
J4
Sin's
that
best
bad
job
at brawling early on? I would have not thought that
compared
he
to Lee
would
Sin.
lose this one this hard.
Lee Sin just has more abilities
Yeah, that's true.
because all abilities have two forms, and that
More
in
attack
in
speed to
early
trigger
pools.
the Conqueror as well. Shield.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
fair
I just
enough.
think
Fair
Lee
enough.
Sin's a little bit more built for it. Jarvan just does other stuff.
Yeah, Conqueror J4 is also something I would absolutely hate if it would be played in solo lanes. But in the jungle, I think it's fine, because you get to stack up your Aftershock and go full tank and still deal a little bit of damage. So, I'm fine with not Aftershock, Conqueror. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I mean,
Conqueror
yeah,
is the
I
goat.
just don't think I don't think there's too many other runes that Jarvan can realistically take as well.
I think
Like you can go
Aftershock could
electric.
actually be an interesting
Yeah, but
adaptation, no,
do you
for
want
late game.
yes, but then you have to go into green seals, which you don't necessarily want. The yellow seals are actually pretty good for Jarvan.
Seals. Yeah, okay.
Well, whatever you want to call them. They it
They
used
used to be
seals
seals,
to
yeah.
be a thing. Yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't know what you call the non-major runes now, but you know what I mean. Oh, Yijin going a
Oh,
little bit
Yujin
too
is dead.
far. Victory will get the kill here. Milcon does potentially go down though. How is Stark alive? Oh no, that was his clone. He's not alive. I'm an idiot. Milcon does finally get cleaned up here, but this is going to be 3 kills
What are you
for FTV.
doing, Optimus? Why are you committing to the kill?
That was awful.
That
That was
was
not good.
an interesting choice from Optimus. I
Say
think
that
he should
again.
have called off the play after 2 players already went down. He saw blood on the
Yep.
water and yeah, what the? I'm super confused by what he just did there.
This
But
was
it
well
was fine.
played by Milcon.
Yeah,
He was super
absolutely.
on the race the entire time.
And look, a very good heal from Victory as well. They get the second kill. Now Optimus completely messes up his ult, has to flash. And at that point, okay, fair enough. Rika came in, so he had to commit to the kill. I take that back. He played this about as well as he could after messing up his ult.
Yeah. Still not a good situation whatsoever. 3 for 1.
And
Stark
kill for the
having a very
Syndra.
bad start to the game. Yeah, the kills went just about perfectly. Syndra getting some kills uh,
The
as well as
Camille.
sorry, my phone just went off. As Camille.
Yeah, now Camille can actually look for solo kills, I think. Look at her items. She has Sheen and a little bit of Wave Clear on the Tiamat. Not sure if she can burst the Nico from 100%, but as I said early on, I think you go for one trade with PTA, trigger the PTA with Q auto attack resets, then you go out again and look for the next all-in, and then you try to go for the solo kill. Stark has his flash available though, so might not be as easy.
Yep.
That being said, flash against Camille is usually not that effective. She can just use her ult and then you can't flash away anymore.
Yeah, it's very true. So let's see where the next point of pressure is. We do see down in the bot lane, Slater getting some alone time with the turret, which he's pretty happy with. Has a pretty big CS lead.
Yeah, and this is once again the overcommitment to the Rift Herald we see a lot in the VCS. They completely sack bot lane now. Bot lane is out for the next, I don't know, 20 minutes probably, because this Sivir doesn't have any CS, she does not have any platings. They will use the Rift Herald mid or top lane, so no platings for the Sivir either. And they gave up 3 platings to Slater just to secure the Rift Herald. I really don't like this rotation. I've talked about this particular rotation a lot in the VCS, and I'm not a big fan.
I think it gets a lot better when you get a first turret mid lane. That definitely helps it, because obviously opening up the mid lane is super important.
Yeah, it's a
But
little bit of
still,
immediate
not
gold, but it's
gold
still.
wise. Yeah, gold
Yeah,
wise, it's not.
look at the experience. Slater got 2 waves unanswered. He got 3 platings, or even 4. No, it's 3. Okay, and then Police is now behind in experience. He's behind in CS. He's behind in items. He didn't get too much gold from the first turret, especially not compared to the solo platings on Slater's side. So really give up a lot in the bot lane to get a little bit more team gold and a little bit more control around the mid lane, especially. It can pay off. It can especially pay off if you now transition into rotations around the mid laner. But it's a risky call.
Yeah,
I really don't like this call because you should be able to trade up if you secure an objective. This is pretty much a
I agree.
trade down.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And I also don't like to see Syndra sort of being thrown. Sorry, not Syndra. Sivir being thrown to the wolves a little bit.
Yeah.
He's quite far behind on CS now. He's just going to be completely outclassed in the 1v1 by Slater, which I mean, we expect that for quite a long time just because Lucian versus Sivir, that's how that matchup goes. But it's going to exacerbate that problem and sort of make it hard for the bot lane to really stabilize without some jungler intervention. And I don't think this is where you want to commit Yokon to. This was meant to just be your handshake lane.
Yep. That's what. And look at the build from Slater. This exacerbates the problem even more as he has gone for the full early game Lucian. So this one wants to go for solo kills even on the Sivir. I'm not sure if this is a deliberate choice from Slater. Sometimes he's just slow on item build adaptation. We've seen him on Kaiser build, the old Kaiser build still.
Yep.
I don't think he has played a single Manamune Kaiser game. Not too sure.
No, I don't think he has either. Which is very frustrating. Everyone that watches the English stream should know how I feel about Kaiser builds in the VCS. Very, very slow to sort of adapt. The VCS is.
Yeah, we
But
love Bikoro here because he is the one who adapts Kaiser builds and champion choices as well.
Yep, we absolutely love Big Coro. Optimus is in some trouble here. Ooh, very nice ult though. Does deny the Jarvan coming in.
And J4 used flash
And
there.
got his flash, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
The flash was a little bit ill-advised, because you should know that you can't flash against Optimus's ulti. A little bit of a waste. Neocon has not looked too crisp on his J4 today. He's probably still his best champ, and it's very good for the late game engages.
Ooh, 4-man coming in bot here. Rika and Myokon are both waiting in the wings, but the counter TP is coming. I don't think you do this dive. Oh, actually, with victory here, you absolutely do it. It's a party in the bot lane, boys, but the party might be called off.
What's going on?
So much committed here. 9 people in the bot lane, but this gives Yijin time to just work on this turret top.
And it's the solo queue special, Lee Sin split pushing top lane.
You gotta love it. That's exactly what you want your Lee Sin to do. Just to be a solo
Absolutely.
laner. See you in 45 minutes.
Yeah, with the strong late game Lee Sin,
Yeah,
right?
Lee Sin, famously strong in the late game. No, not quite the best decision there, but I mean, in the end, I think it was mostly just because
But
he
hey,
doesn't
they
have
got
a
two
TP to
TPs,
respond
right? They
with.
traded one
Yeah,
TP for two TPs, so overall trade up for FTV. And they
yep.
didn't really lose a whole lot as the tower is still standing. And with Camille sitting on lane control in the top lane, it's not too easy to knock this tower
Ooh,
down.
Stark gets caught in the Cataclysm here. Victory's also coming in. Flash away from Stark with the flash forward from Rika to get that Camille ult. Well danced out of the Nico ult, but they can't find anything in the end. We're a little bit scared of Yijin coming in. Surprised they didn't commit a little bit harder
It's so
there.
short-sighted to commit there. You either want to commit or you don't. Just don't
Yeah,
go for the field plays. They have to think a
yeah.
little bit more about
They
what they're
use too
doing.
much for the field play. Like
Yeah.
I
Uh,
don't I don't mind a field play if all you used was the Camille ult, but you used the flash.
yeah, exactly. I think FTV overall today has shown us a little bit too many field plays without thinking about the consequences or how far they want to commit. Because the play was
Yep.
absolutely fine. They didn't have to commit or full commit on the kill, but don't do half the half-ass thing there. Just I'm a
It,
little
it the adage is it's better to full commit to a bad plan than half commit to a good one.
yeah, and it
So
costs
even
them.
if yeah, exactly, and it does cost them. They come out of that just having used resources, secured nothing, and that obviously isn't good.
Especially because
So
they got the free flash from Stark. You should not
yeah,
commit to the play.
just back
You
off after he flashes.
back off, go back into the 1v1 situation. That's almost certainly a kill for Rika the next time the ult is up.
Ooh,
What is
Victory's
Stark
dead.
supposed to do?
Yeah, Victory messed up his flash there, got hit by the wall anyway, just dead.
Yeah, and
Goodbye.
nicely done by Yijin there. Ult into Q, very sure Q hit. And we see a lot of Lee Sins
Yeah.
go for that combination.
Yeah, that's pretty much your bread and butter as Lee Sin. You want to be able to do that 100% of the time.
And Flash has closed the gold gap. They farmed out a lot
Yep.
of the waves, especially in the top side.
Rika's
Now a
going
gold
in
lead
on
for
Stark
Stark.
here. Wants to look for a kill, but he has no flash. He does have ult though, and
Yeah,
it's
Stark's
just not
dead.
going to matter. Yeah. Oh no, he's not. Is Rika's ult not up?
Rika's ult is up. For some reason, doesn't
Why?
want to use his ult.
Why didn't he pull the trigger?
I have no idea. That was such a free kill for Rika. Um,
Yeah, the
maybe he
ult
wants the
damage would
kill.
literally kill him. That was
Maybe he wants the
bizarre.
turret gold, but it's he could have
Just
gotten the
take both.
turret anyway. Like
Yeah, just take both. Like you kill the laner, and who's going to stop you getting the turret?
it's a true
That's not going to
mystery
stop you anyway.
following Udrika. I think it's one of the hardest things to do as a caster because all his decisions are a little bit strange.
Just I just don't understand. why don't you pull the trigger?
Yeah, he was scared of Stark's ult, I guess, but even if Stark ult, you can't
But he
just
would
kill
have been
him when he
dead.
stands still. Like, you have a lot of
But
damage
like,
on the Sheen.
and also the shield doesn't come in
Yeah,
immediately.
right.
On the next
He
ult.
has to
You just
stand
kill
still
him.
while he ults. Like, you have so much time to kill him there.
He was on 100. Like he was so low that
It's very confusing.
literally the ult would have killed him.
I have no idea what's going on in Rika's head. Maybe someone called, don't go for the solo kill, you'll just die again. I mean, fair enough to
It's
the
just like
teammate.
it's. No, I'm more convinced it's that bit from The Simpsons where it's just a monkey with symbols in his head. Ting ting ting. Just no thoughts going on there.
Well, would you then expect the instinct play to go for the kill? Like, he overthought the play in the wrong
Yeah,
direction this
maybe.
time. Oh man. That reminds me
Just
of something my duo said yesterday when we played against a normal game with some friends, and we were kind of yeah, we laughed a lot about the decisions in the enemy team. And I said, "Do they not think about anything?" And he said, "No, it's even worse than that. They think about it and come to this conclusion, and that's probably what's going on with Rika."
That's even worse. That's some high tier shade.
Ah, Rika.
The
Why are you
man.
doing this to us? Just play Poppy. Okay, Poppy
He
was
couldn't
banned.
play Poppy
Yeah,
this
that's true.
year, but But I don't know. Pick up another tank.
I mean, he has
Sion's
looked
not
good this
hard.
game so far. If you look only at the statistics, he's even in
I mean,
CS.
but he could be 2-0.
Yeah, he could secure the solo kill. And then we would
Yeah.
talk about how Rika is great this series and has really stepped up. But instead, yeah.
Instead, we're talking about Rika Brain, which is a true
Not the
adjective of
biggest,
the.
probably.
Yeah, that is very much a buggy brain machine. And potentially a blue buff steal, maybe. Yep, literally. Syndra yoinking it away. I love watching Syndra contest buffs.
Oh god, I
It's so
absolutely
funny.
hate playing against Syndra. It's so frustrating.
Do you remember when she could pick up Baron?
I mean, there was a time where Poppy could move Baron to the enemy base,
Charge
to the
Baron.
base.
Yeah.
League had a lot of interesting times.
Or Darius, that old Darius cheese strat that existed for like a week, where you could use your E as a teleport ended, and you could teleport back to your base and hook just as you did it, and bring everyone back to your
Oh
base
my
at level
god.
1. Because they'd all be in that blue, like they'd be in the little pixel brush next to blue, waiting to leash. And you'd just get a pentakill at level 1 or like a quadra. It was so dumb. I think I pulled it off like once before it got patched, and I immediately
Nice.
said, like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. This is so stupid.
Imagine you're the top laner and you have to enter lane against the Pentacle Darius on level 1. Oh my
Exactly.
god.
Exactly. It's just like Darius is like, I don't want to go to lane. I
He
don't
has a
want
great
to.
sword in his inventory, and I have a Dorn's Blade. Nice.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, there was a period of time in Dota 2 where the hook champion of that game could do that, where you could teleport back to base after throwing your hook. And someone won a round, like it was a playoff stage of the international purely off of that. They literally won the match just because of
Oh
Punch
man.
found hooks. So yeah, I don't think you can do it anymore. I think they fixed it purely because of that.
I mean, they should fix it. It's not an intended interaction, I think.
Yeah, Dota 2's got a little bit more. I mean, Dota 2's got some wacky thing there, where you'd say that's not intended, and then Val says yes, it is. Okay,
Fair enough.
righto. That doesn't seem right. But regardless, back to the current game we're watching. Game I
Nothing
certainly
really is
prefer.
happening in the game, so it's
No,
not
Mount
too
Drake's
interesting to
being
watch it right now.
It's a very slow point of game.
Yeah, both teams are quite content with scaling. They have there's the Sivir on one side and Azir on the other side, so both teams probably say, "Yeah, we outscale you," and are very happy.
Yep.
Just looking at the late game, and yeah, we'll get to see which team in fact outscales the other. I'd say FTV probably has the easier team comp in the late game.
Yeah. It's much easier just to get a Ricochet bouncing than it is to play Azir in a late game team
Yeah,
fight.
you have better engage as well on Meocon and Rika, more easy to execute engage on the J4 compared to Lee Sin as well. Especially Lee Sin into Sivir can't really ever catch her out in the late game. And then Sivir isn't Lee Sin, I should say, is not really doing a whole lot. You have the Banshee spell on Victory now as well. So what is Lee Sin supposed to do here? He's probably going to be on peeling duty. Maybe. No, I don't think he can go for insects in this game.
I mean,
There's
really?
Banshee's Veil and Spell Shield. Like, where's
Yeah,
the
true.
insect
Pretty
coming from?
hard. Yeah, you make a good point there. It's pretty difficult. So yeah, he's just going to be peeling, I guess. Not the greatest feeling as the Lee Sin player, but he actually is pretty strong in that role. Kick is really good peel.
Yeah, you can just kick out the Camille, and then her ult is just gone.
Yep.
Camille is very unhappy with that interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna have to see if Rika can deal with that. Like the one thing, of course, you can do is if you dive in with the hook shot, he kicks you. You can re-dive with ult.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse. But I mean, like that comes down to can Rika even do that, or will he just die if he uses his hook
I
shot
don't
like
think
that?
Rika ever wants to teamfight really in this game against the Lee Sin.
I think he just wants to split push.
And who is gonna stop him? This is actually a very good avenue to victory for FTV because there's not really a champ that can stop Rika. I think he can still look for the solo kill.
Oh,
Probably not.
speaking of which, Like, look at that damage. Stark has to ult just
That's
to stop the
exactly
tower.
how you play this matchup. This is what I wanted to see.
Yep.
Go in once, go out again, and then look for the next time you can engage. Because now Nico has no tools available to herself. You can just ult.
Exactly.
She can't really get away even with flash. You can just follow up ult.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You
now
can.
this is a
I mean,
big
you've got your
problem for
flash as
Flash.
well. Exactly, and they need to use it though. And he is hitting that tower now. Stark coming back up. Love to look at bot lane because I think Stark is legitimately vulnerable to getting tower dove when he doesn't have ult.
Yeah, with the wave, I think Rika will probably go for the play. Because Stark doesn't
Yep.
have the damage to really do anything here. Rika
Yeah, not
should be
really.
able to kill him in probably 3.5 seconds. That's 2 turret shots. It's still a little
It's
bit close
risky.
for Rika, but yeah, he should still go for the play because even if he trades 1 for 1, it's still a good trade for him. The Nico will not get better in the 1v1, so accelerating the gold on both sides will actually give you the advantage in the 1v1.
Yeah, it absolutely will, and it also means that I think in the team fight as well, should there be like if the 4v4 breaks out, Nico TPing in is a bit more valuable than the Camille just because of AoE ult and quite a lot of damage and control than the Camille is TPing
I'd
into a
say a
team fight.
lot more valuable.
Yeah, exactly. So the 1 for 1 is good because it means your team can take a 4v4 and
Absolutely.
not worry about the TPing in Nico because like
And
yeah,
look at the
you don't TP
4v4
in either,
potential.
but who cares?
I think
And
4v4 FTV
speaking
has the
of
team
the
fight
fight,
advantage.
Victory. Yeah, Victory has to use his flash and his heal there to get away from the engage attempt by Yijin.
Yeah, and that would have been successful if he didn't go for the second item Banshee as well. So I really like this adaptation from
Yeah, I
Victory.
think this Banshee is a great pickup.
Yeah, Banshees is a very good pickup to just stall the game because there's no play available on Victory. Now he doesn't have his flash available, so maybe they can repeat gank him. But if he just stays in the mid lane and Wraith clears, should be easy for his team to protect him. Obviously,
Just have
Sivir
beam
doesn't
here.
really want to go for the top lane wave, so yeah, it's a little bit of a weird um, lane allocation here for FTV because they don't want anyone in the top lane and want 2 carries in the mid lane. That's obviously not really working out for them.
Not ideal, no. But still, with how this is going and it's remaining pretty even, like it's been a 1k gold lead for FTV for the last 15 minutes. Like this gold lead is basically not moved and it's gotten to the point where it's pretty much insignificant. I mean, the fact that this is the replay says a lot about how action packed this game is.
Yeah,
Just to get
exactly.
to a Banshee, as you very correctly identified, that Banshees means how are you going to insack? Like that's just not happening. We have a third Mountain Drake spawning. Mjolkon's pretty caught out here. Rika throws himself in. Mjolkon actually survives. And down goes CBL. Rika is gone golden, but should be cleaned up. And there he does
What
go
is
down.
Stark? What are you doing?
Absolutely no health. Oh my god, he's gonna live though. Victory gets caught in the front line as well, just overcommitting. Mjolkon going forward. This has all gone wrong. How did FTV lose this fight?
Man, we have to look at this more slowly again. I can't fathom they lost the fight. They had such an overwhelming advantage in terms of positioning.
That was just like police did nothing.
Yeah, Victory completely lost his mind going into the front line there. Yeah, and it might just come down to player skill actually in this game. I mean, it's still Slater against Police. He will always give the advantage over to Slater, even though he's on the Lucian and the enemies on the Sivir. It's Slater, right? He's...
Yeah, it's just, we always hope, like, Sivir is not hard to execute. Right? Like, you just press W and right click. Potential steal, nope. No ult, so no real potential there. That is Baron secured here for Flash. They get themselves the gold lead and this Baron buff.
Let's
How
look
did
at
this
this
happen?
again.
Nocon.
They catch up Meokon. That's a good start.
Yep.
See,
But
FTV
he's
now has
got a
the option
gargoyle.
either
He's
to go
tanky.
in or go out again. Rika gets the kill on
Yep.
CBL, so another option to disengage here from FTV. They want to continue the fight, and now look at Victory's movement. What? Yeah, he completely overcommits into Stark. Stark baits him in with his low health bar. Nicely done. I did not keep track of Police, but I think he just completely did missed everything there. So not the greatest
And
team fight for...
Victory dies again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that happened. Yijin flash ulted, so that's probably what happened.
And my stream's crashed, so let's see if we can fix that up. please. VCS, I just want to watch.
Okay, look at this again. Banshee's Veil available. A smite to break the Banshee's Veil. Nicely done. Look at the damage from Yijin. It's pretty much a solo kill from Yijin there.
Pretty much. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my stream running again. Should be just a moment.
This might just be another very clean closeout for Flash after struggling a lot in the mid game. I'm still not convinced by Flash. I think they have looked pretty weak the last 2 weeks. Even though they won against Gum last week in the very first series, I think that was a little bit of overextension, especially on Zeros' side. His first series back on stage, he looked a little bit off. I would definitely favor Gum right now over Flash after seeing their last 2 series. They have lost a game to Cerberus, they now lost a game to FTV, almost 2 games actually. This last game was very close. They will probably win now, from now on out, because they secured 2 inhibitors, top and mid lane, so should be smooth sailing.
So I've got my stream restarted. What are you at, just so we can quickly resync? I do apologize, everyone.
30, 33, 4, 5.
Okay, a few seconds behind you.
So I'll stop at 40.
36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Okay, let's go.
Do apologize for that, everybody. Fingers crossed I'm moving very soon, so see how we go. To much better internet. But yeah, this should be a fairly easy closeout by Flash.
Enrique tries to go for the split push. I am not sure he's fast enough to pull this one off. I think it's the right call for FTV. They should have not committed to any teamfights on the first place. So it's a little bit of a Hail Mary play. A little bit too late, probably, to really make a difference. They have 3 Mountain Drakes, so the Rika will absolutely tear any turret he gets onto apart. Look at this turret. Look at the damage on the turret.
It's not great.
That's Camille.
This is a bad time, yeah.
And that they will lose their 3rd inhibitor, so oof, that's probably the end of the game already, because they have Baron minions.
Yeah, that's pretty much a knockout punch.
Stark gets caught though, and now the last team fight might ensue, and there's Meokon already going down. Slater in the front line, completely unchallenged, now gets stunned up. But, ooh, Slater works down to 300 HP, and Rika might actually be able to turn this fight around. Not on top of Slater though, and Slater is still very aggressively positioned here. Hits the stopwatch, will go down Rika with very good timing. And this is another free kill on Optimus probably. And FTV actually wins the fight. So they get a few more minutes.
Yeah, they're still in the last chance saloon. It's better to be in the building than it is to be already kicked out, so may as well keep it trying, right?
And they have Sivir, so 3 inhibitors might be possible to defend. Normally you would say 3 inhibitors, you will lose every objective on the map. They will probably still lose every objective on the map, right?
I think that's true, but they might not lose their Nexus turrets at least.
There was a very famous game last year, Jin Air versus SKT, where Jin Air won at 94 minutes, longest ever major regional game. As now my stream is experiencing a lot of issues. I'm very sorry. This has been a little bit of a rough last game on our side. I'm very sorry.
Yep. This has technically not been the best time, especially on my end. Always do apologize. That was really well played by Rika there, to use that little random bit of terrain. I didn't see this play when it was live, so I'm glad to see Rika doing a little bit of a pop-off there. That was actually really well done by him.
Yeah. But now we have 3 waves of double super minions approaching the base.
This is hard.
The greatest news for FTV. They at least get a lot.
Luckily for FTV, they're not synced. So CV can just go from one to the next to the other and maybe clear it out. All Flash has to do is force a fight, and they'll be on the Nexus turrets, and that's not good.
Yeah, look at the ricochet damage. If you look at the gold totals, it's actually pretty even right now, as we're still lagging a little bit. That's I'm very sorry. Slater gets caught. Rika once again in the backline. Is he able to kill Slater?
Throwing himself forward here. I think it's very likely that we're out of sync, I'm afraid. But Rika does go forward here on top of Slater. Can't quite finish him off though before he goes to the GA, but he does get cleaned up by Victory, I should say. One Nexus tower is down. They need to back off and get these. CBL goes down, but it's potentially both Nexus towers going down. Are they going to be able to hold it? No, the Nexus is open. That's bad.
And
They
I'm
pick up
afraid we
4
have
kills.
to go into a little bit of radio mode, because I really need to reset the stream, because this is not working anymore. I'm really sorry, but with the teamfight victory for FTV, I think we have probably a minute of time to reset, so hopefully this will work out. I'll be back with it.
Yeah, I will do a little bit of radio casting while we fix this up. Again, apologies. We do our absolute best, but as an unofficial stream, there's only so much we can do. Hence why, as Reddit described it, I sound like I'm in my bathroom screaming into a $2 mic. Feel free to follow my Twitter where my PayPal's posted if you want to pay for me to get a better mic. But this should be Baron picked up here for FTV. Yijin might try and look for a steal, but goes in anyway. That's a huge mistake. He goes down. That's another 55 seconds without a Lee Sin on the map. He went in so late for the potential steal. Inhibs are respawning, and FTV, they are on the ropes. The coach is holding the towel up, ready to throw it in, but they're still fighting. They want to save the world. This is a very interesting fight back from FTV. With this Baron buff, I'm not sure there's a huge amount they can do. Obviously, they are still in a very dire situation with an open Nexus and an inhib exposed. But with a 4v5 on the map for another 20 seconds, they have a chance.
Yeah, and we're back to a little bit of live feed as well. We should resync probably in this quick little state where nothing is happening.
Yep, I'll quickly refresh my stream as well. Just to
look at the Sivir. She has hit her, it's not the 500 CS win condition, but it's the 6 item Sivir win condition, was basically the same, because this Sivir didn't need 500 CS to hit her 6 items. And now look at the crits coming out of her. She can absolutely murder everyone in the enemy team. Flash really struggles to find a winning teamfight right now.
Let's just quickly resync. Once again, sorry everybody, what are you at?
36, 23, 24.
You're ahead of me again.
Okay, I'll start at 30.
Yep. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
So now the last few minutes will finally be a little bit...
Yep. Hopefully the stream can hold itself together for the last few minutes of this game. What has actually turned into a much closer game than we would have expected just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and with a team fight right now in FTV's favor, even though they lost 3 inhibitors at one point.
Bold.
Yeah, but I don't think Flash wins teamfights right now. You don't have the Rabadons coming in for Optimus, so his damage is okay. He's level 18, so 160 base damage on his soldiers, but it's not as big as you would think with a level 18 Azir, without the Rabadons, without the penetration boots as well. It's actually not hitting as hard. And then you look at the other side, Rika 5-1 and 4, has a lot of burst damage. We have a very strong Syndra, a very tanky J4, and an insanely strong Sivir.
It's true. That 6 item Sivir is terrifying, and I'm very, very proud of you, Police, not going GA. GA would have done nothing. So just go full aggro.
I'm so glad he knows what to build.
Yeah, super, super good to see. Slater on the other side, it makes a little bit more sense on a Lucian.
Yeah, especially as he doesn't really need 100% crit on the Lucian.
Exactly.
On Sivir, it's much more important. Look at the ricochet damage.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this is...
Well, the question here is, does Flash also make the call that they don't win team fights, and they go for a cheeky split push play, or do they try and play this one out straight?
I mean, can they go for a split push play?
Do they have anyone who could just... They have forward wards.
They don't have teleport on Slater.
Absolutely chunked. Oh, Optimus goes down. This could be the game here. This could potentially be series here for FTV. Forward goes Rika, doing so much damage in the backline. Slater's in the GA. He's going to get up, but down goes Nico. Could be it. Flash could lose to FTV here.
They have a minion wave from top lane.
Go now. This is all you've got. You've got to go now. Slater's alive. Optimus is still dead, though, and he's your main carry. Slater's getting absolutely trucked here. Rika throwing himself forward, doing so well, and FTV is going to beat Flash. What an upset, boys, in a cracker of a Game 3.
What a series. We saw a pentakill in Game 1, and then Game 3, a comeback after 3 inhibitors down. We almost never see this. This is a more ridiculous comeback, even though it was even gold, than if you see something like 10k gold comeback, because losing all your structures it's almost unplayable then. You can't enter, you can't exit your base, I should say. And Flash, we saw a lot of um, weird, over-aggressive plays, especially after they secured 3 inhibitors. Why are you going for a fight? Just wait for the objectives. You have 3 objectives all the time with 3 inhibitors down. You don't need to force a fight in the enemy base. There's absolutely no reason to do that. They wanted to close out the series. They got nervous. They saw the silver scaling and made the biggest mistake you can ever do to go for immediate fighting, and it cost them the whole series. They get punished for their bad early or their bad game once. We thought it would be another time where Flash loses game one and then comes back in the series, but it's actually not the case. FTV with their second series victory, and Flash drops to 6-3.
That's like one thing I just want to comment on. That is, you have to have nerves of steel to come back from losing every structure on the map. It's like ignoring the literal difficulty of playing with no inhibs and no nexus turrets, because obviously that's huge. Mentally, that's so difficult. I'm really happy with FTV. They showed they've got the grit there to clench their teeth and play it out. Like, that's a big win for them.
And what performance from Police, especially in game one, obviously, but even on the last few team fights in game three as well. After getting subbed out for Tiger in the bot lane and not playing for the last few weeks, he comes back and shows a cracker of a performance, especially in the 2 games they won. I'm super happy for FTV. I always feel a little bit bad for them because they clearly show potential. It's not like watching servers where you come in with the like you have to cast the game and it is Cerberus, so you have to kind of find a way to praise them, and then they just lose 0-2 again. FTV is much more exciting. I really liked watching them, and we saw it pay off for them.
Absolutely. Also, just someone that I want to comment on because we're super negative on them on cast. Rika had a really good Camille game. I want to give him credit where credit's due. He looked super good on that Camille. We've been critical of him. I still think we've been critical in a fair way. I don't think we're just hating on the guy for no reason. But I do want to point out that it's not just a Rika hate train. He looked really good on Camille there, and he was a big part of why his team won that game.
Absolutely. I didn't really like his hesitation when it came to 1v1. We pointed that out in the game multiple times where he had the opportunity to go for solo kills. He didn't go for them, but in the end his team fighting was super great, and we talked about the team fight setup being very hard to play for the Camille player. He absolutely pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Really impressive from him. But we do need to decide on who was the most impressive. So who's your MVP for game 3? I mean, I'm leaning towards Police. He was the most important, right?
It's really hard to decide. I actually think I'm leaning towards Rika, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's between Rika and Police.
Police was the most important member, but I don't think
was
he was the most valuable.
Yeah, I think that's a
performance.
I think we can give it to Rika.
He just had to stay to stand there and W and auto attack. The engages had to be on point, and they were on point. It was Meocon and Rika, and I think J4 engage is easier to pull off than Camille engage. So
yeah, so I think I will agree with you on that one. So Rika locking up an MVP from us, who have been oh so critical. So
yeah, his second MVP. One was on the Rumble, I think, or on the Poppy. I'm not sure. Yeah, he had a very good Rumble game as well. I think that went over to Meocon. So yeah, it was the Poppy game. And now locking up his second MVP. Very good performance on the Camille, as he said. Surprisingly good performance as well, because so far on carries he has not really looked great, especially on things like Irelia. His mages have been a little bit off as well, so Camille might be another very good pick for this top laner. And now he has 3 strong champions if he can continue to perform on Camille. So he might be a threat.
Absolutely. Yeah, who knows? I mean, once you start getting 3, it's hard to ban you out or anything like that, so who knows where we go from that. Overall, though, what a series out of FTV, picking up a win over one of the top teams, and this really shakes up the top of the standing.
Yeah, it's really bad for Flash. This should have been a free series victory for them. Now they fall to 6-3. We see DBL is scheduled to play the next game against EVOS. If they win that, they will get ahead of Flash once again will go to 7 and 2. So Flash loses their top position and will be challenged by Gum, for example, as well as Loki, even though Loki looks pretty bad right now.
Yeah, I agree. So, looking ahead to Series 2, we won't dwell on it for too long because we do want to have our break in between series. What do we think coming in for the rest of the night?
Yeah, it will be a very hyped series. I'm not sure if it can live up to this one, because this one had everything. Pentacle, incredible comeback, back and forth, long games, very drawn out, victory in game 1. This next one, the first series between EVOS and DBL, was a very good one. 2 and 1 with one absolute carry performance from Sawn. Overall, DBL still looked like the better team.
Yep.
Right now, I think DBL is a little bit more favored than they were in round 1. I expect them to win 2-0, I have to say, but sometimes DBL just does some wacky stuff and loses the game anyway, so who knows, right?
True. Yeah, it's very true. So we'll have to see, won't we?
Yep, the break will probably be a little bit longer than just 14 minutes, as we usually get a little bit more of a break if the first series is this long. So I expect it to be something like 30 minutes. We'll get the confirmation in just about a minute on stream, I think, and we'll be back for the second series of the night.
See.